Everyone to Ashland, Nebraska, where tonight it's what playoff football should be about. Two teams that have been in the postseason conversation every year, it seems, square off in the quarterfinals of the state football championships here at Memorial Stadium in Ashland, Nebraska. Ashland-Greenwood, the number 4 seed, they're hosting Boone Central, the 5 seed, with a date for the semifinals awaiting next Friday night. Hello, everyone. I'm Tim Washburn. I am joined by the most talented broadcast staff in the state. First, our students running the camera tonight in their rookie debut. We've got Braden Howard and Cooper Peel running the technicals tonight, as he always does for us here in the last few weeks, is Andrew Milburn, the sensational sophomore that joined our team a few weeks back. And, of course, we've got some folks prowling the sideline tonight, and it is led by Jordan Wallman, the Hastings College All-American. He played some tight end there, and he'll be bringing you the sights and sounds from the sideline. And our statisticians, they've got their pencils sharpened. The actuarians, we call them, Kayla and Steve Lonnie. It's so good to have our producer back here in the booth, Julie Mink, who is our longtime producer, our award-winning producer. She's back after helping out and seeing her new granddaughter through last Thursday. So congratulations to her, and it is so fantastic to have her back in the booth. And of course, the man to my right, the man who will put the color to the canvas, former Husker fullback and Blue Jay head football coach Barry Kittrell. Well, Barry, every week of the football playoffs, it just seems to get bigger and better, and here comes a collision between two blue bloods. The Ashland-Greenwood Blue Jays and Boone Central Cardinals, they both played for championships, with the Cardinals winning 2 of them. And here they are, fighting for the first appearance in the semifinals since 2017 for Boone Central, for the Blue Jays since 2014. And one of these teams are going to make it through, so just set it up for us tonight, partner, in this very big matchup.
Well, Tim, I tell you, you did a great job setting it up, honestly, but you said it. Both of these teams are perennial top 10 ranked teams. Both of them fell a little bit short last year, and they are looking to overcome this round this year. And so I feel like it looks like both teams are ready. They're healthy for the most part, but it'll be a game tonight of you have to make very few mistakes. Can't turn the ball over. Lots of different things that make, it obviously sounds like duh, but it's going to be big in a factor of the game.
And we've got some weather tonight here that might make that a little interesting as well. But look, Barry, we've got 2 incredible defenses that are going to knock it out. Together, these 2 teams have totaled 8 shutouts on the year. And let's start with the Cardinals, led by ferocious sitting outside linebacker Jack Roberts, the senior. Tell us about this Boone Central defense led by Roberts.
Well, Boone Central is very disciplined, and it starts with their coaching staff. They do a great job. Coach Hudson, who has definitely just kept that program elevated ever since Coach Johnson had retired. They've done a great job up there, and they have some athletes. They've got guys consistently, Tim, that are in the top in track and basketball, wrestling, and certainly football. So on the field tonight, we're going to face a very fast defense that's very disciplined.
Well, then you've got the Blue Jay defense on the other side, and Coach Thompson, boy, he's had some great defenses over the years, but this one here in 2022, they give up just 160 total yards a game. They've also produced 23 23 sacks, and so many tackles for losses it's hard to keep track of. So what do you like about this Blue Jay defense?
Well, they're just attackers. I mean, you kind of said it. We attack all the way from the front all the way to the back end, and we've got safeties that can fly to the line of scrimmage quickly. We've got outside linebackers that set the edge, and of course it starts up front with our 3 or our 2 front even, Tim, and those inside linebackers. So honestly, I don't see a weakness on our defense. It'll just be a matter of tonight taking care of each of their roles and responsibilities.
Well, folks, if you like running backs, then you're going to enjoy tonight. Boone Central features a terrific running back in Parker Bohr. He's averaging over 7.5 yards a carry. He's rushed for 1,032 yards. Now the Blue Jays are going to counter with what we call the Pony Express. They've got 2 terrific running backs. You've got Drake Zimmerman also averaging over 7.5 yards a carry, almost 900 yards on the year, and Nate Upton, the senior, who's got almost 800 yards on the ground. So I mean to tell you, you've got some dynamic backs. And tell me a little bit about these impressive offensive lines that they're going to run through.
Well, you know, Boone Central, starting with them, they're a more, to me, it looks like they're just kind of lean for linemen and tall, but they are fast and athletic. And so those guys, you know, they have size up front, but it's not like Ashland-Greenwood as far as the size goes. And then, of course, Ashland-Greenwood, they just love to roll guys at that line of scrimmage, at the point of attack. You know, it's going to be more challenging for sure tonight to do that, but they are a veteran group. They've really come together ever since Luke Lambert, unfortunately, was lost for the season, and they're playing very well right now.
And we should say here, folks, you're going to see a little bit of everything. Bohr, he's got a ton of speed. Drake Zimmerman, he cuts and slashes, runs over guys, but then he's also got a lot of juke to him. And then Nate Upton with that power running a game. So it doesn't matter what kind of running back you like to watch, Barry. They're going to see it tonight.
You are. You're going to see slashers, you're going to see bulldozers, and you're going to see just speed guys. So it's going to be fun, and just hang on to your hats, Tim, because it's going to be exciting tonight.
Well, let's flip it to the quarterback since we're talking skill positions here. About the only thing similar between Dane Jacobson, the Ashland-Greenwood signal caller, and obviously the terrific signal caller up in Boone Central, Alex Christo, is that they're both just terrific. Christo has thrown for over 1,400 yards, Jacobson 1,300 yards. High touchdown to interception percentage for both of these guys. But Christo, boy, he can put it on the ground. He's rushed for almost 400 yards. Jacobson, he's completed 69% of his passes. So talk about these two quarterbacks.
Well, both very smart guys, very athletic, multiple sport guys. The name Christo is a big name from that Albion area up there, Newman Grove, you know, Petersburg. There's a lot of great athletes in that area. And so, you know, we know he's a fine athlete. Jacobson is just well documented this year. He doesn't get too rattled. And so that calmness and that demeanor and confidence that he brings speaks for itself. He's done a whale of a job this year.
Well, folks, we've got it all. We got great defenses here. We got some terrific skill players. You're going to see some terrific football tonight. But, Barry, we've got a stiff wind here coming out of the north. And this is the first real football weather we've felt all season long. Tell me what it feels like out here at Memorial Stadium tonight.
Well, I tell you, Tim, even though we're covered overhead, we could feel the air. We got the windows open, and it's pretty frigid. I will say that. You know, I would say the fans are going to want to be jumping up and down and cheering because it's cold tonight. You know, this is going to make a difference in the game. There's no doubt. They have not played in anything even close to this year. Really haven't even practiced in anything like this. So this is going to be new. It's going to be the battle of who holds onto the balls and also who can take care of penalties.
You know, we come into a game like this, and we know these two teams are very evenly matched. And it goes without saying, you have a bunch of turnovers, you know you cannot do that in a game like tonight. But you almost feel like something else could tilt the scales tonight in a team's favor, whether it's a punt return or whether it, you know, is and we're going to pause here. I want you to think about that as we're going to play the national anthem. But it feels like there's something a little bit different that will tilt the scales tonight because these two teams are so evenly matched and the margin of error is so slim.
Absolutely. I agree 100%, and we will pick that up here right after the national anthem, it sounds like, Tim.
Actually, you know what? I jumped the gun a little bit here. The fans are on their feet because the Blue Jays, they're going to come storming in from underneath that scoreboard here on the south end zone in Memorial Stadium in Ashland, Nebraska. As Braxton Buck brings out the American flag, and there's Landon Sabota, the big defensive lineman, as he waves it in front of the faithful here tonight. We've got a great crowd. But, Barry, let's talk about that margin of error and how something, you know, that might be unforeseen beyond turnovers could decide this game tonight.
I agree 100%, Tim. It's got the atmosphere here tonight. It's a big crowd. It's a lot of hoopla really is building. And I tell you, anything like that could change the game on a dime. And so we just hope that neither team experiences anything that is going to really make them fall back. But honestly, we want to see a game where both teams play their best.
And if we didn't have enough on the field to already really get us excited as this matchup is so even, how about these two coaches? You've got Mark Hudson, who took over for a legendary coach up in Boone Central, and Arnie Johnson. and he has won 121 games in his 8-year tenure. Ryan Thompson's won 115 games in his tenure. Talk about how good these two coaches are, because they are some of the best.
You said it. I mean, Coach Johnson was a legend at Boone Central, and Coach Hudson has just taken over and done a great job, obviously taking on a lot of the Coach Johnson, what he did, but also has brought in his own style and own things that he brings that are strengths. And Coach Thompson is, without saying, he has really brought this program to a point where you expect to be in a game like this every year, which is just incredible.
He has definitely raised that bar for tonight, and folks, it's going to be a fun one here, so settle in tonight and enjoy this one between Ashland-Greenwood and Boone Central. This is a matchup that we really wanted over the years. I mean, these two teams have been so good for so long, and now we finally get to see them butt heads here on the gridiron. Yeah,
the last time they butted heads was in that championship game at Memorial Stadium in 2014, so it's been a while.
Yeah, and Wyatt Reserve ran wild that afternoon in Memorial Stadium. But right now we're going to pause for the playing of the national anthem. We got the national anthem in. That means it's time for Jordan Wallman, our sideline reporter. Jordan, set the stage for us.
Hey, Tim. Hey, Barry. Hey, Julie. It looks like a beautiful night for some quarterfinal action of football. Boone Central's down here. They know how to play ball. They have a great team and a great culture. They're fast. They're pumped up, ready to go. But, hey, I know those Ashland-Greenwood Blue Jays are as well. A little chilly down here. Going to see some good football tonight either way. Tim, Barry, Julie, back to you guys.
All right, nice job, Jordan. Thank you for that, as we are still just a few minutes away from the opening kick between Ashland-Greenwood, Boone Central on this chilly night in early November. And what a time of year it is, as there are 3 other quarterfinal games going on in Class C1. We hope you're sitting down watching Strive tonight and perusing through the games. There will be some good ones, but we think we got one of the best in the state right here. The officials tonight: the referee Dick Morrissey, umpires Chris Chanda, Bo Heiss is the head linesman, line judge Jake Wolf, and Andrew Fleece is the back judge. And it will be, obviously, the Blue Jays getting ready to return the kickoff here, as Boone Central will line it up. And doing the honors, kicking this thing away, is going to be James Fogelman. They'll be going from north to south here tonight in Memorial Stadium. With the wind behind Fogelman, he raises his right hand, and we're underway. Quarterfinal state football action. And here comes the blue up the middle of the field. This is Drake Zimmerman, and he's going to be hit at the 28, and they will spin him down. Look at him, continues to carry man. He gets across the 30 to the 31. Good, hard running by the Blue Jays, 1st and 10.
Yeah, I tell you, Zimmerman just came upfield and slowly and then cut to his left hard, and he is tough to bring down, as we saw there, Tim.
Well, we're going to see a lot of that. He is really personified, getting more yards after contact. And he showed it there. And so here comes the blue. It'll be the junior signal caller, Dane Jacobson. Behind him, Nate Upton, who's rushed for just under 800 yards on the season. Trips to the far sideline. You've got Thomas Spears, the record-setting wide out on the near side. And Jacobson wants to go deep to Spears. Into that win, a little bit underthrown and incomplete. Good coverage down there by Boone Central. And so here comes the 2nd down and 10.
You know, Spears and the DB there both stumbled just a little bit, and it made it difficult. The pass was actually pretty good, but both players just stumbled out of the gate there, Tim.
And that big offensive line of the Blue Jays here. And, you know, you've got him, Jaden Wilsey at center. The guards are Braxton Buck, Jackson Ham, and the tackles Ben Harris and Ty Carey. So here we go on 2nd down and 10. As Jacobson will work under center here. And they send a man in motion, but they'll go to Upton, who just powers through across the 35, up near the 40. He's going to be just a yard short of that first down marker. And here comes a 3rd and 1.
Well, they just went right over that big offensive line on the right side. You've got Jackson Ham and Landon Sabota leading the way with an ISO, a nice gain for the Blue Jays.
And that was Lipker who got in there for the tackle. So here comes a 3rd down and a short yard for the Big Blue, going traditional I set. 4 down lineman, Upton weaves his way to a first down and continues to chug out to around the 45. And so a first down for the Blue Jays on their first possession here against Boone Central.
Yeah, once again, Upton there made a nice move. The right side got clogged up, and he was able to get up under center and make the big first down there.
The sophomore Thomas Roberts gets a big stop there, and we're going to keep an eye on his senior brother, Jack Roberts, one of the best outside backers you're going to see, folks. And on that camera, he's number 25 with his back to you right now. He is terrific. He has put together 69 tackles, 22 and a half tackles for loss, and 9 sacks on the season. Here comes a jet sweep. Blue Jays get through. That's West across the 50. And here comes a late flag. He'll be very near a first down marker. Leighton West, the unheralded senior who has come in here. He's so quiet, but he does so many things well.
I tell you, the key to that was Landon Sabota actually took Campbell out and actually was able to block him off, and it was a great block for West to cut underneath and make a big gain.
And the Blue Jays, though, going to be penalized here on that play. So instead of 2nd and very short, it's going to bring up a first down and about 11 as they'll move it back to the 42.
And I apologize, he blocked Roberts, not Campbell, Tim. I apologize to Mr. Roberts. He's a fine player.
Boy, I tell you, we won't forget his name by the end of this broadcast. No. He is something else. Against Minden last week, he opened up the game on the very first play by the Whippets by really putting a shot on their quarterback. He is explosive, and he's got tremendous speed. So here we go on 1st and 11. Low snap. Jacobson gives it off to Upton. It's going to be a bit delayed on the low snap, but Upton makes the most of it. Gets across the 45 to the 46. So here comes a 2nd and 7 for the Big Blue.
Yeah, what the Blue Jays do so well there is Leighton West came in and actually helped block and get Upton a little bit of positive yardage. So those are the little things that matter a lot.
The leading tackler for the Cardinals, Hank Hudson, with his 78th tackle on the year, just brought down Upton. So here comes a 2nd down and 7. Pistol set this time. What will the Blue Jays do? They're going to try Upton again off right side. He's going to get 2 yards, hard yards. And here comes a 3rd down and about 4 for Ashland-Greenwood.
Yeah.
And there's Caden Stokes.
That time Aiden Washburn, H-back, was coming across the green to the left side, and we go back right side. So the motion was coming with Washburn, and they went back with Upton. I like that play call.
Washburn checks out. Ty Carey, the tight end, will check in here for the Blue Jays. Those leading tacklers for the Cardinals, we'll keep an eye on them. James Fogelman, Jack Roberts, Caden Stokes, Thomas Roberts, and Hank Hudson. They really anchor a very fine defense for Boone Central. Here comes the 3rd and 4. And it's going to be Jacobson on the keeper. He doesn't run much. He'll get a couple of yards, be a little bit short. Here comes a 4th down. And the Blue Jays, you would think here, have a tough decision on 4th and 2.
Yeah, they fake the give there, and Jacobson goes around the end, uses some of that speed, and he is a little bit deceptive with that, Tim. He's got that long body and it's really become pretty quick.
Rasmussen made the stop to force this 4th down. It's 4th down and 2. Pistol set for Ashland-Greenwood. Just into Boone Central territory at the 48. As Jacobson will have a conversation with assistant coach Jake Jensen getting the play in here. And the Blue Jays taking some time. We do have a play clock here. We're down to 4 seconds, 3 seconds on the play clock. High snap. They get it off to Upton. Upton barrels for a first down. Then he's got some running room. He cuts to the outside. He's got a blocker ahead of him. Will he score? He does!
Touchdown, Blue Jays.
Well, I tell you, Tim, what a play. A great job of just getting him right up the gut. And Upton, just you can see he is in high season form because he made a cut to the outside at the very end of that run that sealed the deal. That was a great job by the offensive line.
Well, the 10th touchdown for the senior Nate Upton makes it 6-0. Blue Jays' first possession, and they punch it in, going for it on 4th down and 2 at the 48-yard line. And here's Peyton Alexander, who's hitting on 80% of his PATs. He's got plenty of legs, and the junior knocks it through to make it a 7-0 lead, Barry, here for the Blue Jays. And my goodness, what a start for Ashland-Greenwood.
Well, they can be pretty happy with the way our offensive line was able to create some holes, and we had some nice gains there with obviously capped by Upton there at the end, but that's a big score early.
Well, this Blue Jay squad, they really wanted to start quick tonight. That was one of their goals, to come out here. Hey, they've had some games this year where they've started a little slow. Tonight, they wanted to start fast, and boy, did they ever.
They did. I think they, the Boone Central side is a little bit quiet right now, but let me tell you, they've been in some big games. They're going to come back. They're going to give everything they got here.
And boy, do they have some players to get them back in it. They've got a lot of weapons here, as Alex Christo will handle the offense here in just a moment. Parker Borer, and that's one thing the Blue Jays kicking into this wind. It'll be interesting to see what special teams coach Dan Baranek chooses to do here, because Parker Borer, who's back at the 15-yard line on the far side of the field, he is dangerous. He sent back a 90-yard touchdown return against Aurora earlier this year, and that is not an easy thing to do against the Huskies. So what will we do here as Alexander approaches, and he'll pooch it? And that'll be Lipsky at the 34-yard line, and then he'll be knocked out of bounds by about 3 or 4 different Blue Jay defenders. And so good field position here for Boone Central at their own 35.
To your point about Jack Roberts, just to go back to that, Tim, our head track coach, Brian Tim, sent me a message saying just what you said, reiterated. He was the 300 hurdle state champ last year, and he's a super athlete. That's a pretty big compliment, but that was a big field in the Class B track meet, so that's a great athlete.
Boy, he's got speed to burn and power. So here we go, 1st and 10 for Alex Christo. He's got Parker Borer, the 1,000-yard rusher, behind him. They're going to try Borer outside. He gets away from one tackler, gets hit around the 40, and dives forward to the 43. So they'll bring up 2nd down and short. Nice carry by Parker Borer.
Yeah, Parker does a great job of kind of leaning in and then cutting back out, and faked a couple guys out a little bit, so our guys are going to have to be on their best here.
And Isaac Carson with tackle number 16 on the year. Stopped him 2 yards short. And now we're going to go with a 4-receiver set here for Boone Central. And they will go Borer. Now they're going to reverse it. Triple reverse. They got all kinds of men open. And there is Roberts. And he missed him at the 23-yard line. He had 3 receivers, Grape and Roberts, to choose from, and one other on the far side. But Crystal just had a little too much adrenaline with that wind behind him.
Yeah, I tell you, it is a pretty stiff wind, but you're right. He had a couple of guys just completely wide open. That's one he'll want back tonight.
So a 3rd down and short as Coach Hudson pulls out the triple reverse pass to get things started. And now look at this formation as they'll run that tight trip side to the far side of the field. Christo gets the snap. He's going to try Borer again. He was hit behind the line of scrimmage and dropped at around the line of scrimmage. And I think where the mark is, he's going to be short. First tough call here for Coach Hudson on this 4th down and less than a yard, as Nate Upton, the senior, came through that middle backer position.
Yeah, it looks like he is going to be short here, Tim. So the big decision, as you said, it doesn't look like they're going to hesitate, though. I think they're going to go for it.
Well, let's see how this big offensive line for Boone Central gets a push here with Caden Stokes and Trent Patzel, Nathaniel Warner, Hank Hudson, Ben Riley, and David Miller. They have moved some real estate this year, and they need to here on 4th down and less than a yard. And a shotgun set. Blue Jays send everyone up the middle, and they jump. Braxton Buck made the contact, but I think the middle backers may have jumped too, and so that gives Boone Central that 1st and 10.
Boy, that's a big one in these games. It's got to be that's tough, because you can't be giving away 1st downs on a big play like that. But you got to love the energy and excitement of the Blue Jay defense right now. once again, that's a balance you got to walk here.
Boy, they were coming up the middle, and the hard count got them. And so here we go, 1st and 10 now at their own 49. Play fake, and they're going to swing it out. Complete little bubble screen, but the Blue Jays are right there to stop them at the line of scrimmage. And here comes a 2nd and long. I know Braxton Buck, Landon Sabota, and Isaac Carson all teamed up on that stop.
Well, once again, I mean, we've seen all year the Blue Jay defense is so fast to the edge. It is tough to have a delayed play out to that edge. So we'll see what Boone Central does, but those edges are tough.
So Lipker and Fogelman come out to the near side. In the slot on the near side is Robertson. Here we go on the jet sweep. And the Blue Jays, Jackson, the hammer, knocks him at the 50-yard line, brings him down at the 49. So here comes a 3rd down and 8 for the Cardinals.
And that's once again, we just set the edge hard there with our outside linebacker and, just turned them in. And it was tough because we had inside backers flowing and making the play.
Brant Benish in the game. He's also a Boone Central player that has speed to burn, and he splits out on the very far side. What will the Blue Jays do here? They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up on the line. Will they send them all on this 3rd and 8? They send 4. And Cristo fires across the middle. Slant route complete. Brought down as Benish by Thomas Spears, but I think he's going to have a 1st down.
Yeah, Benish did a nice job getting separation on the corner and made a big play. And Cristo's got that big arm, as you documented before the game. So that was a big play for Boone Central.
For those new to us, Thomas Spears, just a 140-pound sophomore, but I would say fundamentally the best tackler on this Blue Jay squad. And so here we go, 1st and 10 from the 40. Rolling out is Cristo. Blue Jays giving chase. Wilsey behind him. Now here comes the hammer to apply pressure. They just throw it out of bounds. And then there's a hit across the sideline, but there is no flag as Austin Cote was in there with Jackson Ham. And here comes the 2nd and 10.
Boy, give the defensive backs a lot of credit there. It looked like Dane and Thomas had rolled over the top helping Drake. So just lockdown coverage and forced Cristo to throw it out of bounds.
So Lipker will check out on this 2nd down and 10. One of the things Coach Thompson said about this Boone Central team is they are absolutely brilliant at keeping the play alive. And that's a big reason you've got Cristo at quarterback, because, boy, he's got some happy feet and he will make that defense really work. And we just saw it a second ago. On 2nd and 10 from the 41. Blue Jays come up. Here's the snap. Cristo's got time. Now he's pressured. He's trying to get outside the pocket. Fires to the sideline. Broken up nicely by the Blue Jays at around the 31-yard line. There's Dane Jacobson in at safety.
Well, that pressure right now in the middle of the field from our linebackers and our defensive line is really causing Cristo problems right now. It's making him scramble, get all the way to the sideline. And so, once again, the Blue Jay speed is doing a great job.
And how about Jacobson, Barry, from that safety position?
Yeah.
Doesn't get a lot of reps at safety.
Yeah, no, that's right.
So here comes a 3rd and 10 from the 40. Cristo will send Borer off to his left. Take the snap. And he's going to try fade route down the far sideline. Just missed his man and around the 15. Good coverage down there by Isaac Carson. And here comes now a 4th and 10 for the Cardinals.
Well, they're trying to, get those big athletes open. And our defensive backs are doing a tremendous job of staying with them. They have come a long way. At the beginning of the season, I felt like those were new guys coming in, and now they're veteran players.
And Derek Tonjes, the freshman, was in at safety on that last play. So Ryan Thompson, who's the head coach but runs the defense, boy, he is rotating several players in here for Ashland-Greenwood early on.
Yes, he is.
So here comes Wheezy in to punt. He's averaging 32 yards a boot. Low snap, fumbles it, takes his time, then gets it up in the air. And here comes Thomas Spears. He's averaging 17 yards a return. He's dangerous, and there he goes, Thomas the Train, and they're going to knock him down and around the 28, 29-yard line. So another nice return for the little engine that could, and it's a 1st and 10 Big Blue.
Yeah, great return by Spears. Lots of concentration. We got to see him in the open field once again, and I do want to say a shout-out to Isaac Carson's grandparents up in, I believe, South Dakota, who are home, weren't able to get here, and we are rooting for you, Kevin. We're excited your grandson is doing a tremendous job tonight.
Boy, I tell you, and Kevin, you know I coached him in baseball too. What a special kid. What an incredible family. So we're thinking about you up there in South Dakota tonight. And here we go on 1st and 10. And they're going to try Drake Zimmerman, his first carry of the night. It'll be a short gain. And here comes a 2nd down and 9. Barry, what a privilege these Blue Jays have to have Nate Upton and Drake Zimmerman. Zimmerman has averaged about 7.5 yards a carry. They've really got 2 terrific running backs.
They do, and we talk about when Upton goes out, Zimmerman comes in with that high energy, Energizer Bunny style, and it just doesn't quit with either one of these guys.
And the coach's son, Hank Hudson, made the stop on Zimmerman to force a 2nd and 9. And Jacobson wants to throw. He has time and then just dumps it. He had a screen pass towards Aiden Washburn, but it looked like they really disrupted it. Getting through there very quickly was the sophomore Thomas Roberts, and so here comes a 3rd down and 8.
Yeah, you want him to get through, but not quite that quickly out of screen. So, yeah, he really disrupted that. Once again, Roberts, the outstanding athlete from Boone Central.
Boy, that Roberts family, they like to box, Barry. They put on the boxing gloves and Jack and Thomas, and they get after it.
Wow.
And so these kids are tough. Here's the snap on 3rd and 8. Jacobson's going to swing it out and misses his receiver. Leighton West, no, that's Drake Zimmerman at around the 28-yard line. And that is a rare miss for Dane Jacobson, who's completing 69% of his throws.
Well, Jacobson was under tremendous pressure. I think he saw it out of his peripheral vision. He was under heat, and I think he probably noticed that and got that. He had to get the ball out quickly.
And it was Caden Stokes, Barry, who was applying that pressure, and he is a terrific player as well. Boy, they've got a lot of good, solid players, a lot of names you got to memorize coming into a game like this. And here's the snap to Derek Tonjes, the freshman, who has it go off the side of his foot, takes a bit of a Blue Jay bounce, and then quickly the Blue Jays touch it down there. That was Isaac Carson who touched it at the 49. So short field here for Boone Central with 3:30 to go here first quarter, and they're down 7-0.
Yeah, Derek Tonjes, it's been noted, he came in when Logan Sabota, his season ended, and has done a tremendous job substituting as a punter and has made some big kicks this year. So we're going to see a lot more of Derek.
Fogelman and Roberts. And we've got one other receiver here to the near side. That may be Stokes. And Christo is looking at his left arm band and getting things set up. The Blue Jays with just 2 down linemen. They're playing that peso defense tonight that they brought out against Roncalli a few weeks ago. Now we got a whistle, and I believe the play clock, no, they got a timeout in there before the play clock went down. And Barry, again, we always have some new viewers here as we advance in the playoffs, but how about this for Class C1 school? You got those sideline power end zone play clocks that you have, which you don't see, and on the sideline you've also got those down markers that tell you how down and distance as well. So you gotta love it, and you know a little bit about sideline power. You're wearing the hat tonight.
I do. You know, Matt Starr and Jackie, they do a great job at sideline power, selling equipment all over the country, but their heart is more dear towards this school. You know, obviously both being alum here and care very much about Ashland-Greenwood, and you can tell by the equipment that's around the field.
Well, Inc. 5000, just recognize, make that Inc. 1000. You recognize them as one of the 1,000 fastest growing companies in the United States. And Matt Starr, who is a very talented entrepreneur, we're so lucky to have him just down the road in Greenwood, Nebraska. So out of the timeout, Crystal take the snap, and he's going to try Bohr. Works the right side, cuts up. There's that quickness across the 40. Look out, Bohr! He stiff arms and finally gets knocked out of bounds at around the 25 by Thomas Spears and Drake Zimmerman. But you just wondered when Bohr would get loose.
Well, I tell you, Tim, I'm not sure that I've seen a team like Boone Central block downfield the way they did. It actually kind of hurt them. They had a hold call. But you can see the dangerous speed of Bohr with those downfield blockers.
So that will come back. Is that a spot foul, Barry?
Well, I thought it was, Tim, but it almost doesn't look like it is because I believe it was downfield, wasn't it?
I thought it was around the 35 of the Blue Jays, but they take it from the line of scrimmage. And so they move it all the way back to the 40, and actually they gave him 11 yards on the penalty. So the original line of scrimmage is the 49 of the Blue Jays, and they marked it all the way back to the 40. So here's the snap, and Cristo wants to run option. He'll take it across the 40, and I shouldn't say option. He just faked a give to Bohr, and he took it himself, and then he was smothered at the 41 by Braxton Thunderbuck.
Yeah, Braxton Buck fought through his block and just was there waiting for Bohr. So the senior leader who we've seen 4 years of outstanding football from is really shining.
Cristo trying to keep his hands warm. They've got those hand warmers tonight that they're going to be using. And he'll have a 4-receiver set this time on 2nd down and 21. And here comes Bohr. He got the edge, nearly got pulled down from behind, and then nice tackle by Thomas Spears. And Bohr is saying, hey, there should have been a horse collar on Jackson Ham.
Yeah, Ham got him just right from the back, and obviously it was on the shoulder pad. It must not have been around that neck. But anyway, he slowed him down enough for Thomas Spears to come up and lower the boom.
In there right now, Landon Sabota, the sophomore D lineman, along with Jaden Wilsey, who was pressed into action when Luke Lambert got injured, and boy, has he played well. Colton Cerveny, one of the outside backers, Ty Carey the other, and look at those middle backers. They're going to hit those gaps here on 3rd down, let's call it 14. Cristo waits the snap. Looks, fires across the middle, through the hands of Lipker, and a belt by Austin Cote at the 45. And so here comes a 4th down and 14, and Boone Central will punt it away.
You know, on that slant, Cristo threw a good ball. It was just a little bit out in front of him. And I tell you, I'm guessing Austin Cote was in his vision coming across the middle, and so those are tough catches to make.
And Alex Cristo came into this game 94 of 171. 1,446 yards, Barry. He had completed 55% of his passes. Just a little bit off tonight, but he'll get that figured out as here's a good boot, and Thomas Spears calls a fair catch at the 20-yard line. So 1:57 to go first quarter. Blue Jays up 7-0. Big Blue came out, Barry, and on their very first opportunity with the football, they drove all the way down and scored. Since then, the defenses are taking over.
They are. They're doing a great job. Both teams have adjusted very well, and we're seeing a very good football game right now.
We are indeed, and exactly what we thought we would see tonight, as Dane Jacobson will trot his team out. Dane, a rarity, having 2 incomplete passes in a row, and he will have Nate Upton back in there at running back. Aiden Washburn will be the H-back on the right side. He's going to send West in motion. And they're going to try Upton, and he's hit behind the line, and my goodness, the Cardinals ambushed him that time, and here comes a 2nd and long, led by Thomas Roberts, the sophomore having a heck of a night early on.
Yeah, Thomas Roberts was there and actually had 2 teammates in the backfield with him. They really penetrated the gaps quickly there.
Well, we talked about how he and his older brother like to box. Let me tell you, those are going to be some tough boxing matches, huh?
Wow.
You look at Thomas Roberts out there as a sophomore, Barry, and I mean, he is built like a senior. There's no doubt about it, and he doesn't have an ounce of fat on his body. This kid's going to be long career at Boone Central. So here we go on 2nd down and 11. The snap. Jacobson, he's under pressure by Hudson, swings it out complete to Spears. Spears will be driven out as soon as he caught it. So here comes a 3rd down and about 9 for the Blue Jays. And that was Benish, Brant Benish, who made the stop.
This is where you see Boone Central speed. You've talked about that. I talked to a couple of coaches this week as well, and they said that speed certainly is going to neutralize, and you can see where it does out on that edge.
Boy, they were quick to come up and get Spears, weren't they?
They were.
And folks, Thomas Spears just set the record last week for most receptions in a season. He had 47 coming into this game, just a sophomore. And here comes a 3rd down and 9. Blue Jays a bit confused here. They've got players running around, and it looks like Isaac Carson is going to come to the near sideline. Finally, Coach Thompson says, let's just call a timeout and get things figured out here. So 7-0, and Barry, after an early start, this Boone Central team has seemed to settle into this game really nicely.
They're settling in. You know, they you have to adjust to the atmosphere. Our home stadium is daunting for a team coming in, and I will say, you know, they've adjusted pretty well, pretty quickly. They've got athletes, as we've talked about all night. So,
well, folks, you talk about adjusting. Barry Kittrell, who was a tough fullback at Nebraska, tough fullback here at Ashland-Greenwood, he comes in tonight in the booth wearing gloves. Now,
Oh,
Barry,
Timmy, you gave it
listen,
up?
I'm gloveless tonight. You come in here and you look like it's 20 below zero.
Yeah, but I don't have heat warmers in my shoes. No, I tell you, I am impressed with your toughness tonight. I was thinking, you know what? You should probably go into a boxing match with one of those Roberts, huh?
Well, they would think that I'd be a track athlete because I'd be running. I wouldn't be boxing.
Oh.
Here comes the 3rd and 8 out of the timeout as they will send Spears in motion. And they're going to do play fake. Dane in trouble again, under pressure, and just slides down like he's in a baseball game at the 21-yard line. So the Blue Jays are going to have to punt, and boy, this D-line is starting to get some big momentum for Boone Central.
They are. They're really finding gaps and getting up quick, and we talked about even their line is very speedy. They're not overly big, but they slice through the gaps quickly. And so, yeah, it's something that we'll have to adjust to as well.
So Cristo will be back to return this punt. He's averaging 14.5 yards per return. Here's a short punt by Tonjes. Again, he's kicking into a big win tonight, but it takes a Blue Jay bounce. It'll be touchdown by Isaac Carson at the 46-yard line. So here we go, 1st and 10. And Barry, this is kind of the game we thought we were going to see tonight. A lot of head knocking going on.
It absolutely is. And I want to tell you, I want to shout out to Jamestown, North Dakota, where Tom and Cindy Walsh are up watching Darby and Jaden Tweeton. So Darby Walsh, Jaden Tweeton competing for Midland and Concordia respectively in the cross-country meet up there for the GPAC. We wish you girls the very best.
How cool is that? And here we go. We're running option now with Bohr. He's met by the hammer, and the hammer will get some help by Isaac Carson, and they bring him down after a 2-yard gain. I'm telling you right now, Jackson Ham, he has turned it on the last 4 weeks.
No, he has, Tim. You have it started well back before Platteview. Jackson has made a lot of noise out on the field, just done a lot of talking with the way he plays. He's gotten fast, he's strong, he's just a big leader from that middle linebacker spot. So I agree 100%. He's a big player for us.
And we end the first quarter with the Blue Jays up 7-0, and you know, Barry Julie came in with a little wrestling jargon here tonight. She said that was a single leg that he used to bring him down. And if you don't know, folks, Julie Mink, of course, the mother of Andy Mink, Ryan Mink. Andy Mink won a state championship in wrestling. Went on to play 2 state championships. Went on to play football at South Dakota State. Almost single-handedly beat the Huskers on a Saturday. You remember that game?
Oh, boy. He tackled Rex Burkhead and those guys so hard that day. And he was it made us proud, the Ashland-Greenwood folks, you know. That was a tough one, rooting for Nebraska, but really rooting for Andy.
I remember sitting up in the east balcony and saying, listen, I was just screaming for Andy. And people around me were throwing hot dogs at me and such. But what a performance he had. And I'll tell you right now, these two defenses are putting up a performance as the Blue Jay D has been incredibly tough. Can't wait to look at those stats that Kayla and Steve are racking up right now. But hey, Boone Central, they also, I think, look at this as an opportunity. They have had some short fields tonight. Let's see here if they can take advantage of this on this 2nd down and 8, right around midfield. As Cristo will have 4 receivers. They just go with that one running back in the majority of plays. And here comes Cristo. He's going to tuck it and run. Got away, and he'll get a 1st down as the Blue Jays stopped him at around the 43. But I think that'll be enough for a 1st. And Barry, what do those numbers look like?
Yeah, so Tim, Ashland-Greenwood carried the ball 9 times for 70 yards in that first quarter. The big one, of course, was Upton for the big burst on the touchdown. We were 1 of 4 through the air for 2 yards. We had 72. Boone Central 20 on the ground on 6 carries, 2 of 7 through the air for 10, so they had 30, 72 to 30. No real substantial difference in penalties or in turnovers, certainly.
Well, Stokes is checked in the game. He's on the right side in that slot. Now let's see what they do here. They're going to try Bohr, and the Blue Jay D not fooled that time. They stand him up at the line of scrimmage. Here comes the 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, just like an underneath counter to back to the other side. You know, we're seeing quite a bit of misdirection here with Boone. The play before was almost that wide read option where it looked like he was going to give, but he did a nice job of pulling it for a big gain.
So out comes Stokes, who just checked in, looking for his first reception on the year. Stokes, boy, he does a lot of good things for this Cardinal squad. And there's Fogelman to the near sideline, along with Benish, who is yet to really get untracked, and they're going to swing it out, and it's deflected and knocked down by Colton Cerveny, the junior, and here comes a 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, Cerveny gets those long arms up, and just once again, he's another young man that's been making a little bit of noise on that defensive side from the outside linebacker, doing a great job. He gets in the rotation with Ty Carey and Leighton West and really makes some noise.
He came into this game with 30 tackles, but Barry, most of those tackles have come about the last 4 weeks of the season.
Yes.
And so here we go on 3rd down and 10. As Boer will stand back there with Christo. Again, the Blue Jays bring those backers up, and they're going to send 4. They're going to throw a little bit of a slant route here to Lipker, and he's met immediately and brought down just across the 40 at about the 38. Isaac Carson having a great night. He led the charge. Here comes a 4th down and 5.
I'm telling you, I don't know if Isaac Carson could have covered it any better. He was on him like glue. But I'm telling you, Christo threaded that ball so quickly into the hands of the receiver that it was, you just got to say, that was a great play.
So on 4th down, they're going to send in Benish, Rasmussen on the near side, Lipker, as well as Roberts. Here's the snap on 4th down. They throw, and it's incomplete. He missed his man on a little out route, overthrew him. Cote was there to make the tackle, but Rasmussen not able to go up there and get it about 2 feet above his head.
Tim, we had a 3 guys covering that route, and there was a seam route right down the middle of the field wide open. So fortunately for Ashland-Greenwood, they didn't see that.
And if you remember, folks, if you were with us in the first quarter, they ran a triple reverse and then threw downfield, and they had 3 wide receivers wide open, but there is a stiff wind behind Christo's back, and he just overthrew him a little bit. Here's Drake Zimmerman on the pitch, and he's going to be spun backwards. He's going in the wrong direction, heading back to the north end zone. And so here comes a 2nd and long for the Big Blue.
Yeah, Boone Central, once again, is getting that penetration. Boy, you see Roberts in on a lot of tackles, don't you?
Yeah, and there's Jack Roberts. Barry called him out. We've got a whistle here.
Well, I'm not calling him Campbell anymore because he's a boxer.
Heck no. And I'll tell you, I had a chance to talk with Coach Hudson, and he said, listen, he is one of those guys that he'll let you know if you're not doing your job well, but he also gives a lot of love. He's the kind of player, Barry, I think, you love. He's going to get in the dirt. He's going to do everything you need to do. And, boy, he's a tough one. So here we go on 2nd down and 11. And it's a pistol set, and Upton comes back in the game, and he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage, and suddenly this D-line, look at Hank Hudson. He's throwing him around like a rag doll, and here comes a 3rd down and long, and this Boone Central defense is standing up, Barry.
Well, we pulled a guard there, and Hudson was in that gap so fast and just followed it right to Upton. It's made it tough for our backs here in this early 2nd quarter.
So here comes 3rd and long. The Blue Jays trying to get the running game. It looked so good on their first series. But since then, Boone Central has really put their foot down, and they have not given up much. And the Blue Jays holding on to 7-0 lead as the officials having a little conference with 8:56 to go first half. And they will continue to talk things out. Drake Zimmerman was in. He had that carry, got pushed back. And I'm not sure that he's re-entered the game. So here comes Upton. He will stay in the backfield. And this Blue Jay O-line, they have their hands full with Boone Central's D-line and those backers. And so here we go on 3rd and 10. Dane Jacobson looking for some time to throw tonight. That's the other thing he hasn't had a whole lot of. And here's the snap, and they're going to roll out. Jacobson stays in the pocket, does have time, fires across the middle. It's picked off at the 45-yard line. Here comes Boone Central. This is Rasmussen. He's at the 30. He goes over Jackson Hammer, and Hammer throws him out of bounds at the 25. But a great pick by Rasmussen.
Wow, that was quite a change of events. It almost looked like the Blue Jay receiver. I couldn't tell if he was interfered with or not downfield, but obviously not. Just a good play by Boone Central on the defense, and boy, that's a big one.
What hands by Rasmussen. He just reached out, pulled that thing in. Of course, he's a terrific wide receiver as well, as he's had a lot of catches this year. He's had 11 for 116 yards, and that was a big one here. And again, a short field for Boone Central. But this Blue Jay defense has been stout tonight, and they bring a bunch, but there's a wide open middle part of the field for Cristo, and he'll get down to the 17. So very near the first down marker, but it'll bring up second and short. I believe Thomas Spears might have got him.
Yeah, just a draw, quarterback draw, Tim, and it opened up like the Red Sea. But I will say Spears made the key play there on defense. Even though he didn't make the tackle, he was able to juke him just enough on defense to run him into another player.
They bring in Fogelman at quarterback. And he fumbled the ball. It's loose, and there are a bunch of bodies. Isaac Carson saying the Blue Jays fell on it. But no sign. Nope, it's going to bring up Boone Central football. They got on top of it. And that was Patzel, the lineman, who fell on it. So it brings up third down in the yard. And so they bring in Fogelman to quarterback and then muff that snap.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we're going to see Cristo enter back in the game, who's really done a tremendous job here in this first half.
Boy, he's tough. Not real big, but he is tough on 3rd and 1, and he'll keep it again running off the left side, and he's going to have the first down to the 15-yard line. So a nice hard run by the senior Ty Carey in there and Austin Cote. And so here comes a first down and 10 for the Cardinals.
Yeah, just fake the run, the give to the running back there. They kind of quit doing that once they got shut down on those outsides and have really run with Cristo quite a few times since.
Sam Grape in the game on the far side. Roberts in that slot on the right. They're going to send a man in motion. That's going to be Rasmussen, and Cristo's just going to keep it. And boy, as he stood up, he slipped a little bit, but then a big stick in there by the Blue Jays. I believe that was Austin Cote on the stop. And so here comes now a third down, make that a second down. Let's call it about 6.
And once again, they are just continuing to run with Cristo, just the fake to the running back, and he is following those linemen from Boone Central, who we talked about. They get out quickly on their poles and do a nice job of leading.
So Fogelman checked in. Blue Jays have just those 2 defensive linemen. And here's the snap, and they're going to run option, and Cristo's hit and brought down by Braxton Buck from behind. And here comes a big opportunity here for the Blue Jays to shut down Boone Central to bring up a third down at about 8.
Well, I tell you, Nate Upton was on the outside, created a pile there, and I really believe that slowed down the rush enough to be able to get Buck up there to make the tackle. That was a nice play by the 2 seniors.
Boy, Braxton Buck, he has been a stalwart for this program over the last 4 years. Started a lot of games as a freshman. Here we go on 3rd down and 8 from the 12. Cristo flooding the field with receivers. He wants to throw, and he's going to fire. Crossing route, complete to Rasmussen, and Boone Central makes it 7-6 on the touchdown throw from Cristo.
Tell you, they just lulled us asleep a little bit on that defensive backfield. It's run, and then you pull back and do the play action. So, Boone Central is right back in the game here.
So let's see what the Cardinals do here, as it's 7-6 with 5:29 to go first half. Blue Jays held that lead for quite some time here. Finally, Boone Central able to knock it in, taking advantage of that short field again. And they get it set, and here we go. They're going to lay the tee down. This is going to be Fogelman. He's good on 71% of his PATs on the year. Good snap. And the boot is up, and it is good. We've got a tied game, folks. 5:29 to go here in the first half, 7-7. And we knew it was going to be a barn burner tonight. It's turning out in this first half to be that. But, Barry, if you talk about momentum, you feel like it's shifted a little bit here to Boone Central.
A little bit. Their line play has been outstanding in the second quarter, and that's really what's been the deal breaker. The Blue Jay defense has played very, very well. They were bend, not break, but just that pass play, when I really believe they were geared to stop the run there, made it tough.
And how about this group listening tonight? Way down in Disney Springs, Florida, you got Matt Flynn, You got Donnie Laughlin, Barry Fangmeyer. What a crew. There's so many of them I can't get all their names in, but they're down in warm Florida while we sit here in 38-degree weather tonight in Nebraska.
I just say they're missing out, Timmy. This is there's no place I'd rather be right now than right here.
Oh, no doubt. Although you got to just to see Fangmeyer on one of those roller coasters, I would love to see that. Here we go. The kick as we are tied at 7, and it's going to be a bit short, and this is going to be Spears at the 10. Really dangerous is Thomas, and he busts through, and he bring him down at the 40-yard line. He was one man away from 6 points for the Blue Jays, but nicely done by the Cardinals to knock down the speedy Spears at the 40-yard line.
Yeah, and give our kickoff return team up front guys a lot of credit. They opened it up for Thomas, and he just jetted through. Boy, that was close.
Sam Grape saved the day for Boone Central. So West and Spears on the near sideline, Washburn the H-back. Here we go. Let's see what we can do here if you're the Blue Jay fan. Bubble screen, complete to Spears. Up the field quickly, spins, stays on his feet, brought down at the 49. Great tackle in there by Benish. Here comes the 2nd and 2.
Boy, he's tough. He is leaning forward, and then he's just rolling into his pattern like 100 miles an hour, Tim, and does a tremendous job. Our receivers up front blocking for him always got to be aware that he's right behind them.
Offensive coordinator Nate Tonjes, Barry, you know he's going to the chalkboard here because Boone Central has done a great job shutting down the Blue Jay run in the second quarter. So he tries Spears early, and now on 2nd and 2, play fake, throws it across the middle, deflected, picked off, and this is going to be Fogelman coming up. Dane Jacobson knocks him out of bounds at the 31-yard line. So they were trying a little quick hitter on the play fake, and it just went off the arms of Ty Carey and into the hands of Fogelman, and another interception.
Yeah, unfortunate. Just, went real high on Ty, and I just don't think he was able to get his arms up. It was a tough one. And it just bounced up in the air. Seemed like it was there for a minute. And Fogelman came down. Very heads-up play by him.
Dane Jacobson, he's got that cannon for an arm. He really put some mustard on it across the middle of that time. And so here comes a 1st down and 10. Blue Jays sending their middle backers up and then take them back. That's Ham and Upton. And here's the snap, and Christo, pump fake. Now he's going to go deep part of the field, but they are not on the same page. Incomplete. Good coverage down there by Ty Beedison and Thomas Spears. They double-teamed Benish. And so here comes the 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, and Thomas a lot of times is that free safety, so he reads it so quickly and gets over to help Beedison. But once again, the pass was just not in range at all.
So on 2nd and 10, boy, the short fields for Boone Central tonight, they have been aplenty. And on 2nd and 10, Christo, quarterback draw. And look at that speed. He can really erupt. He gets down to the 28-yard line from the 33. So here comes a 3rd down and 5.
Yeah, they like their draws with Christo. He likes to just step back and then watch those offensive linemen push our D linemen outside, and then he gets right up inside.
And Colton Cerveny comes up with yet another stop. So here we go, 3rd down and 5. You're in 4-down territory here, though, if you are Boone Central. And they're going to try Christo again. Get it to the outside. Knocked out of bounds by the Blue Jays' Austin Cote. And here comes a 4th and short upcoming for Boone Central.
Well, let's just say Christo does a tremendous job of riding that fake because our defense is going with that fake guy each time, and then he's pulling it and getting outside for some good yardage. So just the execution that he's making on this option is excellent.
So let's see what they pull out here, Barry, on this 4th and 1. You're right, they have had so much success with that tonight. And on 4th and short, they bring in Hudson as the fullback. And they're going to go traditional I set. Let's see if they do a hard count. No, they're going to do Crystal, quarterback keeper, and I think he's got enough for a 1st down. He does. As Sam Grape on the far sideline, he gave a right fist pump to say, yep, we got it. And so here's another 1st and 10 for Boone Central.
It's interesting they put Hudson in the backfield, one of their very best linemen, to play fullback. I'm guessing they're going to have other plays out of that set, Tim.
All right, this Blue Jay defense, Barry, backs against the wall here late second quarter with 3:45. Trying to not give up the lead here. As Christo, again, he will give to Bohr. Bohr kicks it to the outside. He's got some running room. And there's Jacobson, misses a tackle, but he's finished off inside the 10-yard line. It'll bring up a 1st and goal, and there is Boer's speed on display.
Yeah, he does a great job of bouncing outside at every single level. He dips in and then bounces out, and he does have very good speed.
So here comes, that was Nate Upton, who got the speedy Boer out of bounds, but they're going to mark it down at the 6. Driving into that north wind tonight are the Cardinals. Christo surveys the defense. And he's going to give to his running back, Boer. And he will get knocked down after a short gain. Here comes the 2nd and goal. Thomas Spears came up from that safety spot to make the stop.
If it's in the middle, if those middle linebackers don't get it, you know Spears is right there.
He cleans up a lot, doesn't he?
Oh, my.
Oh, he's got his uncle listening in North Carolina tonight. So always plays a great football game. His uncle can be proud on 2nd down and goal from the 4. Christo takes a look at that sideline. Now he gets the play off his left armband in this 7-7 game. And there's Christo, quarterback keeper, puts on the speed, and he gets across the goal line for a touchdown. And it's now 13-7 Boone Central, who has really owned the 2nd quarter.
Yeah, their line right now is just getting a piece of our defense. Each one is getting a shoulder on our defenders and just creating enough space for Christo to get through there. That team speed right now is showing quite a bit.
Well, you know that Coach Thompson is a master at making adjustments. And when they get in at halftime, they'll have some things to chat about. As coming on here is Fogelman, and here's the kick. And oh boy, we might have roughing the pin. Yeah, we're going to have roughing the kicker. As coming through quickly was Nate Upton, who just ran over Fogelman. And Nate, I think, is saying, hey, I might have gotten pushed from behind, but still, I didn't see it. He just went into him at full speed there.
Well, I didn't see it either, so it's unfortunate, but it'll be penalized here on the kick. And the Blue Jays will be ready to come out on this offensive series and get going again.
Well, if you're Coach Hudson, you're feeling really good about what you see. The University of Nebraska Kearney ex-football player. He played some years out there. He knows a thing or two about these big games. And if you're Coach Thompson, boy, he's coaching them as well, you know that he's going to be looking at those X's and O's really hard here in this 2nd half.
Yeah, they are. Coach Thompson's already thinking, hey, we're going to be on offense. He's starting to formulate some defensive things. And the coaches are just so far ahead anymore on, they've got assistants looking at things, Tim, and talking off line on a different line on their headsets and doing all kinds of stuff. So all the stuff in motion, we have no idea, but I can just tell you it's pretty amazing.
Well, now you wonder here, Barry, with that 15-yard penalty, if Fogelman might choose to onside here, or will they just kick it into this wind and they're going to say, nope, we're going to kick it out here and put all the Blue Jays all the way back at their 20-yard line. And so Blue Jays here, they're teetering a little bit, and they got to find their feet here. So this series here pretty important for Ashland-Greenwood.
Yeah, it is. They've been airing the ball out quite a bit tonight, which I think is great because they've got confidence. Jacobson's a great quarterback. They've got great receivers, but it's been a little bit difficult when you get a tip here or there and a big pick. It makes you kind of think twice a little bit.
And boy, this D-line has been great tonight. Patzel, Miller, Roberts. They have been tough. 1st and 10. Jacobson's going to try Upton. He's trying off the left side, and again, he's going to be hit at the line of scrimmage for a no gain as Ben Harris was thrown down there by one of the Boone Central players. So here comes a 2nd down and 10.
And once again, Boone, just if you look at their defensive line, they're big and athletic, but they're not the size of Ashland-Greenwood's line, so they're just using their quickness to make plays behind the line of scrimmage.
And there is Robbie Miller, the 6'1 junior, who just brought Upton down on 2nd down and 10 now. And there's Drake Zimmerman in the game. They're going to try jet sweep to him. Far sideline. Can he get the corner turned? He does, but boy, they are right on it as soon as he does. And then there's Boer knocking Zimmerman all the way back. And right now the Blue Jays being punched a little bit. And let's see how they respond to this. As Barry, you're looking at something there on paper as a timeout is called by Boone Central.
I'm just looking at the size of their line, trying to see, they don't look overly big, but they look tall and rangy. once again. But the Blue Jays right now, I think that's a good call, Tim. They need to just reset a little bit and realize, hey, this isn't anything we haven't faced before. We understand what this is, and they'll get it going again.
And, that last play to me, Barry, kind of epitomizes a little bit what we've seen tonight, and particularly in the second quarter. It was always Drake Zimmerman that was really setting the tone, right? He'd get those 4, 5, 6 yards after his initial contact, and then he'd turn to the crowd and he'd get fired up, and he was just so determined. On that last play, Bohr really pushed him back 10 yards, and so it looks like Boone Central right now just has that upper hand when it comes to the aggressiveness in this football game.
Yeah, they do right now, and so it's going to take something to set the Blue Jays to get their fire going back and really being the attacker and to start attacking on offense.
So here comes a 3rd down and 9 with 1:58. Boone Central would love to get the football back here. And let's see if the Blue Jays can convert. Play fake. And Jacobson rolling, being chased again. Can he get the corner turned? He does. He's across the 20 and brought down at the 21. A big hit. Oh, they just continue to pursue. And another big hit by Thomas Roberts, the sophomore, who's a star.
And that's something we really haven't seen a lot of, is Jacobson not being able to find an open receiver, because he can scramble with the best of them. We've talked about that. But, at that point then, for them to chase him down from the backside, it just shows you the speed of Boone Central.
And there's no doubt that I know he's playing a terrific game, and that is Jack Roberts, the senior. But my goodness, his brother Thomas Roberts having a night, Miller's having a night, Patzel's doing great things. And, you're not necessarily having to rely on Jack Roberts to do this, to do all the heavy lifting tonight for this Boone Central team, and that has to be a good sign for Coach Hudson.
Yeah, no, they're really coming off the edge on both sides and up the middle with that line. So right now Boone Central is attacking very effectively.
Christo will trot back to around midfield. 1:39 to go. 14-7, Boone Central. After trailing 7-0, scored twice here in the second quarter. And what will Tonjes get off here, the freshman? He's got the win at his back for the first time tonight, and it's a good boot. He boots it all the way down to Fogelman at the 40-yard line. Fogelman reverses course. He's got some running room, cuts back to the middle of the field. Blue Jays still giving chase, and Isaac Carson will make the tackle around the 39, but yet another short field here for Boone Central.
Yeah, I would imagine we're going to see a little bit of air on some of these plays because Christo obviously can throw the ball. So far, though, besides the one touchdown catch, he's been a little bit off, and so I think certainly this cold and weather has affected him, as it has a little bit with Dane Jacobson too. It's going to when it's 40 degrees and the wind's blowing.
So here we go on 1st and 10. Blue Jay defense, can they come up big here against Boone Central? Well, Christo rolls out, fires far sideline, missed his man, and here's a 2nd down and 10. He was looking that time for Colton Rasmussen, but missed him 2 or 3 yards out in front of him.
Yeah, it was just a flat pass, and Christo was running full speed to his right and just got too much under it, and we've seen that several times tonight. So, I don't know if that's still nerves or excitement, adrenaline, or what it is, but, it's something they're having to deal with on both sides.
It might be big old Braxton Buck breathing down his neck too,
that's for sure.
2nd down and 10. What will Christo come up with here? Blue Jays in 6. Christo firing downfield, but the receiver stopped at around the 30-yard line. So he and Benish, that's twice tonight where he and Benish haven't really been on the same page.
Yeah, that has to be a read on that throw, because Benish stops and he just did a dig, and he did not continue upfield.
3rd down, 10 to go. The clock has stopped with 1:17 to go in this quarterfinal game between Ashland-Greenwood and Boone Central. Braxton Buck, and also in the game there, Tobin Engelhard. And here's the snap to Christo. Pump fake. He's got plenty of time. Fires deep, looking for Benish, and it is caught at around the 8-yard line. What a catch by Benish. He hauled that in. It'll bring up a 1st and goal.
Wow, that was tremendous. It was over. Benish was actually looking backwards up over the top. and just a tremendous catch, as you said, because there was good coverage on him.
We've got a minute to go. Clock is running as Cristo, quarterback keeper, and boy, he's brought down quickly by Thomas Spears once again. Here's a 2nd and goal as the clock continues to churn.
Well, Spears is reading that draw now. He's going to try to spy if he can and make it tough for Cristo.
On 2nd and goal, Cristo takes a snap, fires, and there's flags everywhere in the end zone as I think they're going to call Dane Jacobson or Thomas Spears on pass interference, and that will give him a 1st and goal.
Yeah, that's too bad. That's unfortunate. And I couldn't see it, Tim. It was kind of in the players were in the way of my view. I don't know if you saw it or not.
Yeah, I did not, and I'll be honest with you. The officials are having a long conversation making sure they get this right. And here comes the white hat, and they do call pass interference, and it will be on the Blue Jays. So with 35 seconds to go, a 1st and goal now for Boone Central. Or do they do not give them a 1st down. It'll bring up 2nd and goal from the 3. Shotgun set for Cristo. He'll roll. He'll pump fake. He fires, and he brought it in. That is Jackson Lipker. No, they said he stepped out of bounds. He stepped out of bounds. Lipker did a good job of hauling the pass in, but the official waves it off. Here comes a 3rd and goal with 30 seconds to go.
Wow, to roll out and pass there, that's a big play. And the Blue Jay defense, they rose up there and had great coverage on that side.
Benish brings the play in. Blue Jay D. They have held in here. After that great pass to Benish, can they hold again? Cristo's going to roll. He's going to fire, looking for Benish, and it's a touchdown as he put it in a perfect spot in front of Isaac Carson. Really tough to defend from that pass because Cristo laid it right where he needed to.
Yeah, it was just a down and out, quick route, and right to the outside of the end zone. And he made a catch right on the line, and Isaac Carson had great coverage, I agree.
Yeah, he was right there. But Cristo did a great job. And how big was Benish? We talked about he had been quiet early on in this game through about a quarter and a half, and then all of a sudden, what an incredible catch, acrobatic catch, as Fogelman will now make this 21-7. Middle of the field, they worked to Benish. He makes an over-the-shoulder catch, and then he runs a perfect route to make it 21-7. And this Boone Central team, Barry, we knew they were tough. Boy, they are showing it.
Yeah, they are. We're just seeing a lot of athletes, and you talked about it, Tim. You told me that this week, and I talked to, once again, a couple coaches. Gosh, we've got Huskerland Bob in the crowd here. Yeah, that's good to see him. Bob Jensen from Huskerland Prep. And gosh, it is a big venue. I got off a little bit there. I saw Bob Jensen. I'm like, oh my goodness, Huskerland Bob's here.
Yeah, when you see a legend in Bob Jensen, you just stop, right?
Yeah.
And he covers a lot of games. It's great to have him here tonight. But I'm telling you, Barry, the Blue Jays they're reeling a little bit here. And you cannot get to halftime, I think, quick enough if you're the Big Blue.
No, that's right. They need a little bit of a stop, a little bit of a break. They got to regroup and get back to what they do.
Oh, and this hits Aiden Washburn straight down the middle as they hit a line drive. And then it's fielded at the 35-yard line. But that came at Washburn in a millisecond. It looked like a fastball from a major leaguer. And so 1st and 10 Blue Jays with 23 seconds to go here in the second quarter.
So we can't forget that we've got Derek Tonjes, a 6'4 freshman, and we've got Thomas Spears with lightning speed. We've got Isaac Carson. We've got quite an arsenal at receiver with a big arm from Dane Jacobson.
And the wind behind his back, Barry, so let's see if they air it out as Tonjes comes into that game, as Barry just called. And that trips formation in the near sideline. Low snap. They're going to screen it out, though. Bubble screen to Leighton West. Can he get out of bounds? He does at the 40. And so that'll stop the clock with 18 seconds to go.
We got a man down here on the field, Tim, unfortunately.
That was Brant Benish who pushed him out. And getting up slowly is Landon Sabota. He's holding his right shoulder. And, I noticed Barry earlier, he came out of the game kind of holding it. And now he's down and they're taking a look at this. And the very talented sophomore getting 10-2 right now.
Boy, that's unfortunate. He has been just key for us. And, all these guys are, but gosh, you just hate to see that.
Coach Ryan Thompson out there with him. They're going to get him up. And he'll head off the sideline. Logan Sabota, his brother, of course, lost for the season. Had a tough injury, 4 or 5 weeks ago. It's just been a tough year for the Sabota family. I just feel for him so much, and you hate to see this with Landon.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's been a warrior this year.
So they'll tend to him on the sideline. The clock is stopped with 18 seconds. Blue Jays, they do have 2 timeouts left. Here's the snap. Dane is going to be hammered from behind, and so he missed his receiver at the 50-yard line. I believe that was Leighton West, it was, but Dane Jacobson absolutely got blasted from the blind side. Here comes a 3rd down and 5.
Yeah, that looked like Warner, if I'm not mistaken, for Boone Central, and he was there so fast on that weak side, and Dane had no idea he was coming.
Well, Coach Thompson said they've all got speed, and look out. They do. So here we go on 3rd down and 5, low snap, and they're going to hand the ball up the middle to Drake Zimmerman, and there comes Drake Zimmerman. He runs over a man. Stokes. That's what we're accustomed to seeing from dangerous Drake Zimmerman, and now they'll stop the clock with 9 seconds to go. Blue Jays will get one more. Hank Hudson finally brought him down.
Well, I think that was a little unexpected, giving Drake the ball there, and Drake lowered the boom there, and but they're going to let the clock run out.
Well, it started out for the Ashland-Greenwood Blue Jays beautifully. Their first drive, they go down, they score, it's 7-0. And then after that, it was all Boone Central second quarter. They dominated, putting up 21 points, and they lead 21-7 going into half.
Once again, Tim, just the team speed is what we've noticed tonight with Boone Central all around. It starts at the line, and it goes all into their skill guys as well.
Well, the one thing for these Ashland-Greenwood faithful, they know that Ryan Thompson, Nate Tonjes, Dan Baronic, Jake Jensen, what an incredible coaching staff that the Blue Jays have. They will put some chalk up, and they'll be scheming, and they'll be talking, I think, Barry, as much as anything, about mindset. All right, Jordan, take it away with Coach Thompson.
Heels a little bit. That's a good team, obviously, doing that to us. They're making plays where we're not. That's just where we're at. We got to kind of regroup, and we got to start fighting and clawing here a little bit. They lived on our side of the 50, and they earned that. We got to make sure they go the distance. That was the goal of the game, and right now they're probably having it a little too easy. After that, what's the message to the team at halftime? Number one is we got to quit playing on our heels. It's 24 minutes of whatever we got. We're never out of the fight. We got enough players and enough things going on that we'll be fine. But we definitely have to believe and trust our hearts. And we got to regroup. I believe in those guys. We all believe in each other. We'll be all right. There's always that special shout out you want to send tonight. Where's that at? Oh yeah, Amy's at home. Love you, Amy. We're gonna regroup and see what we got the second half. There's Coach Thompson. Blue Jays down 21-7, but hey, competitive team. They're not gonna give up. They're gonna dig their heels in and fight in. Tim, Barry, Julie, back to you guys.
All right, Jordan, thank you very much. And hey, the same message we've heard from Coach Thompson. You know that this halftime talk is going to be much about mindset as anything else, isn't it, Barry?
Absolutely, that's what it is. They just lost a little bit of that steam in that second quarter, and now they just have to get it back.
Well, partner, this is your time to go check out that concession stand. So when you come back, I want a Food Network review of whatever it is you eat.
That's easy for me, Tim. I can do that. Looks like you've got a celebrity here or two.
Yeah.
So
let's get them in here. We're going to talk winter sports here, folks, as Reese Hogue and Jake Mose will be joining us, and we'll preview the upcoming seasons here as Kayla brings in the stats too. So Barry, I'll let you digest these stats here, and we'll get to these as we start that third quarter. We're going to start with Reese Hogue. And Reese, thanks for coming up here tonight, the assistant coach for the Ashland-Greenwood girls basketball team. And hey, this is a fun time of year, isn't it? You're getting in here to the late part of the football season. You know basketball's right behind it. So you're starting to get some butterflies going here?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, well, first off, I know Coach Huber's listening, and he texted me late last night. He goes, "Hey, can you help me out?" I go, "Where are you going to be at?" He's like, "Oh, I'll be in the middle of Iowa." I'm like, "Of course you will be." So, no, yeah, butterflies are going. I mean, it's winter is one of the best times of the year, and I mean, like, basketball is just an incredible sport. So we're excited.
Yeah, you know what, and you should be. As this is the second year for Coach Hubert. He's come in here and he's assembled an excellent staff. You're a big part of that.
Thank you.
Just preview a little bit about the team you've got upcoming this year and some of the things that make you so excited as well.
Absolutely. I mean, we have a lot of young talent coming back. We basically threw a lot of, like, with Coach Fagmeyer 2 years ago. He had a heavy senior class with a lot of good leaders and athletes. And Daniel Tonjes, Maya Carson, and I think it just like a lot, and like Hannah Keith helped really provide a nice foundation for our girls. And so we have a lot of young talent. We have two awesome leaders in Presley Harms and Jenna Grell, and they're going to help lead our girls to hopefully some victories and some success this year.
So last year is the first year he has to go in and install everything and not just install the physical part of the game and what you guys are doing X's and O's, but really start to develop that culture as well.
Right.
Where'd you start last year? Where'd you finish?
So last year we just started just kind of getting to like know the girls and kind of figure out what's going to work best for us. We want to play fast. We want to be able to press, full court, play 5 out, 4 out, 1 in type offense, and just play really good, solid man defense. I mean, that's what kind of basketball, and I know like Coach Moses has done a great job of that. I mean, playing fast, skills win, as they kind of say, and with us, we kind of started with kind of building those foundational blocks, and we've had some girls that like are starting to get that basketball love bug a little bit, and it's good to see because we have girls wanting to come shoot preseason, girls obviously putting in good work during the summertime, and so we really progressed last year. We got some wins that I think some of the girls were shocked at how they pull some of those games out, but I mean, we told them, you guys put the work in, and you guys are really showing how much growth you have just across the entire 4 or 5 months of the season.
So what did you see? What were you the most happy with as far as where this team improved when you look back on that last season?
Absolutely. For me, it was definitely confidence. I think, confidence is huge, whether it's football, volleyball, softball, basketball, wrestling. It doesn't matter the sport. If you're not confident, then you don't truly believe in yourself. So seeing that confidence in the girls, and then more importantly, seeing that growth in the offensive and defensive ends, especially like the defensive end, we really grew in our identity of having a strong man defense. And hopefully, we have a lot of spots to work on, but I think our defensive side of the ball really helped push offensively.
So where do you go from here this year now? You have
Great
your
question.
first year under your belt, and you've got everything installed. It's probably going to be a little easier practice, isn't it?
Hopefully.
Yeah. They've retained some of that, right?
Right. We the girls always joke with Hubert that the less talk, more basketball. So I hope he's going to chuck out of that right now.
He likes to chatter a little bit, huh?
Oh, yes, he does.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
he does.
Well, he's got a lot going on in that noggin of
He
his,
does.
and a lot of knowledge to impose on his girls, right?
Absolutely. And I'm very fortunate to be a part of a staff with Dave Hubert, obviously with 25, 35 plus years of coaching experience, and then Sean Ross, who they have so much time and hours and even years spent in the gym with girls, and kind of developing them skill-wise and just allowing them to like love the game. And that's the big part, Tim, is getting them to love the game and enjoy it, and more that you love and enjoy it. I mean, it's all roads from there,
Boy, isn't that true? And, sitting behind you here, Jake Mose, we're going to get to him in a second, talk about the boys program coming up this year.
Yes.
But one of the things that I can remember doing interviews with him going way back, the youth program kind of started to build until it got to be a really busy youth program on the boys' side. Mm-hmm. And then also those kids getting in the gym and shooting. And again, that's really built. And ultimately the point of a state championship. What are you seeing on that end? Because I'm hearing there's some girls in there shooting quite a bit in the gym.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, Coach Mose, his staff has set up a youth program that, if we can just do half of that, it would be a successful, youth program. And I think more importantly, we're seeing a lot of girls just want to be active and want to put themselves into the gym. And I think that they're wanting to put themselves in the gym by themselves, or at least with a partner, or with at least other teammates. So if with our JJYB coaches, who we are so thankful for, there's probably in our 15 to 25 of them, like parents helping out, spending time with the kids and their friends. We just can't thank them enough. And obviously, we want to really point out Kristen Fangmeyer too. She's helped us out a lot as well with the financial side of things, because trust me, Tim, I don't. Even my wife doesn't trust me with money, so I don't blame her for keeping me off that end. So
yeah, well, give me a quick preview of this team here, and then we'll bring in Coach Mo.
Absolutely, we're gonna really start. Obviously, our 2 seniors will play a key role,
Yeah.
but we have a lot of juniors and sophomores. We have a lot of talent coming back. We want to play fast, get shots over turnovers. Want to press, want to make it more of a track event for people to watch. But hopefully we can just build off the success that we had last year. We have a really talented or tough schedule, but we want to have a tough schedule because we want to challenge ourselves a little bit, and hopefully we can find ourselves in late February.
I love that. That's what you're playing for. Well,
Absolutely.
You guys have done an amazing job.
Thanks,
I know
appreciate
Coach
it.
Hubert's proud of you tonight.
Well, thank you.
handled the interview very well.
I appreciate it. Shaking in my boots.
Yeah,
Hope
here
you
we go.
enjoy
Well,
this, Huber.
and speaking of this, yeah, right. Here comes Jake Mose. He's shaking in his boots too. I can guarantee you, Reese. As Jake Mose, first time we've got a chance to put the headsets on since Cale Jacobson went driving towards the hole, dumped it off to Evan Shepard in the corner, and through the net it went. And I imagine that's something that you kind of like to relive every now and again. That's not the first time you've heard this, right?
Right, yeah, no. Yeah, if we could do that again, that'd be fun. Certainly,
Boy.
you always wonder as you watch those on TV what that might feel like, and pretty special.
Boy, and to get it the way you got it too on a buzzer beater, to win it all. And I just know that for you, looking back on, we just talked about that, how things have built for you over the years. That really culminated in something special. And you ever look back and say, man, this is where we started, and this is where we've come. And I imagine it was very rewarding.
I think that's what makes it so special is you remember the year where you didn't win any games. You remember the year you won 3 games in 5 games. And so to see that growth and progress, I think, is the goal of any program. And so that made it all the more special because I appreciated what we had and where we were because I had been at the bottom of the pile before.
Yeah, so now you come into this year and, coming off that state championship, and everyone in town says he better do it again. No, you've got a team that's going to be awfully good. What is it like coming into this year, though, seriously, off of something so successful, going into this season? How different is it, say, from previous seasons? And have you done anything differently because of that?
No, we certainly haven't done anything different. I think the big thing is that you get that a lot of, oh, you're going to repeat, just as kind of a joke, but where are you at type of question. And, if it were that easy to repeat, I think anyone would do that. But it's hard to get there. It's hard to win games. It's hard to do that. So just like every year, we just want to get better as the season progresses, and we want to play our best basketball in late February. And we did exactly that last year, and so we hope that our guys who returned, and we've got a great group of returning guys, I think they're hungry and excited to step in and fill the shoes of seniors that will certainly be tough to replace, but guys will want to try and do it the best they can, and we'll probably look and do a lot of the same things. It's just with different pieces.
Yeah, and of course, one of those players you got to replace, Cale Jacobson. And we're going to talk a lot here about the future, but I do want you to look back just on Cale real quick because he had to be a once-in-a-generation player for most of us here in Ashland-Greenwood.
If we get more of them,
you take them, right?
You take them because, then you don't have to do a whole lot as a coach. But certainly blessed and grateful to have a kid like that in your program because they're doing everything the right way, from time in the gym to the classroom to off the court to anything you could ask for. People forget he averaged 23 points as a sophomore, lost his junior year and came back and averaged 17 points. Right? Not many kids would do that. He could have scored 30 every single night, but he didn't. His goal is to win. And just happy as heck for him and our team that culminated in the end there the way it did.
Yeah, absolutely, and that was a part of it, right? Making that assist at the biggest assist of his career, and it was a beautiful one. But he taught the players a lot, just like you talked about. I mean, they looked up to him. So these guys that you've got coming back this year, I'm sure they learned a lot from him and this whole tradition that you want to get started.
Definitely, Evan Shepard, a great athlete in multiple sports, and Max Parker, a gym rat,
right?
Who made tremendous strides from his 9th grade year to his senior year, and so I think everyone fits a different mold when they come through high school, and there's different ways to be good and great, and I think our past players the last several years have shown a variety of different ways. You can come, do many things like an Evan Shepard, or you can lock in like a Max Parker, and both guys were instrumental in our team and our success.
So let's talk a little bit about these players. You always say, hey, you win championships and you win basketball games for what you do in the summer and the off season, right? Mm-hmm. So how happy are you with the off-season work?
We had a really good off-season. We don't play many games. We keep it light, probably relative to most teams, because our guys are busy in July playing, and then they come right into football. A lot of them in August, and so I think a huge thing is being fresh, and so we want to be fresh when the season starts. And so our summer was super productive as far as kids getting in the gym and getting better.
Coach, I'm going to interrupt you. All right, Jordan, go ahead with Coach Hudson.
I'm heading over to him right now.
Okay, we don't have him yet. All right, sorry, Coach, I interrupted you. We're going to grab Coach Hudson here, and when he does, we'll probably cut you off again. But keep going. You were making a great point.
Yeah,
where were you? All right, Jordan, take it away with Coach.
Out here with Coach Hudson. Coach, great first half. What are you guys doing well right now that's allowing you to move the ball and stop the offense?
I think the guys are just starting to find their footing up front. We're giving good pass protection for Alex, giving him a little bit more time than we did early on. So we just kind of stemmed the tide early on and handled the emotion.
Slowing down that Blue Jay rush attack. What are you guys doing on defense that's kind of slowing them a little bit?
We had to get after our D tackles about getting lower. They were playing high, peeking. We call it playing linebacker as a defensive tackle, and they had to just take on doubles and do a better job up front. So the D-line's playing better.
Let's get going. Great first half. Good luck in the second.
All right, that was Coach Hudson, head coach of Boone Central, and we'll break that down and dissect it here in a little bit. But, Coach, one of the things that, and I don't even remember where you were at, so we're just going to keep going.
You were talking
summer.
And I kind of, just mentioned that it went well, and we don't. Our focus isn't games; it's about individual improvement and making your skills better and improving those things. So
we're talking with Jake Mose, the head basketball coach of Ashland-Greenwood, coming off that state championship a year ago. A lot of people don't realize that you played basketball at University of Nebraska-Kearney, and you can still play. And I say that not as a joking matter, but you can get out there and you can scrimmage with your teammates or your players, I should say. And that's kind of a unique perspective because you get a chance to play with them and see how they're doing. And I'm wondering if there's any coaching going on, or is it more just kind of putting something in the back of your mind of things that you can work on?
Yeah, as long as I'm not losing teeth or breaking bones, which I've done plenty of.
Yes, I remember the tooth.
I absolutely love it. But, you're not necessarily coaching them because I coach them enough. I don't need to coach them in those situations. We want to more or less have fun and just show them the right way to play. The important things of moving without the ball and setting good screens. As you get older, you get better at those tiny little details. And so we try and, when our older guys play, try and teach our younger kids through that what it to be a really good all-around basketball player.
Well, I got to tell you, you got to be extremely proud what you guys accomplished, and future looks super bright. I can't wait to see it. You're still going to do post-game interviews with us, or are you going to go to the other media sources?
Yeah, we'll negotiate a new contract for that, but the cost has gone up. So
I know. We're talking to your agent. Hey, folks, Jake Mose, the head coach of Ashland-Greenwood, a state champion a year ago. We're looking forward to this year. It's going to be a lot of fun.
All right. Thanks for having us.
You bet. Absolutely. Jake Mose, who has done a marvelous job with that basketball program. Kind enough to come up tonight with Reese Hogue. And Barry, we'll high five. Oh.
Well, I tell you what, Tim, can I update on the stats here? I want to read the stats on the Blue Jays in that first half, we had 15 carries, 77 yards. We were 3 of 9 in the air, through the air for 15. We had a total of 92 yards at the half. Boone Central, 20 carries, 75 yards, 6 of 17 through the air for 64. So they had 139. They led 139 to 92. And I'll get some more stats after this.
All right, let's go ahead and get this third quarter started here as Peyton Alexander will approach the football, and he'll kick it to the far sideline, and this is going to be Lipker fielding it, and he's hit down right away. Aiden Washburn was down there, but I believe that might have been Isaac Nonella as well. So here comes the 1st and 10, Boone Central.
Well, I tell you, it looked like the Blue Jays had 4 penalties to Boone Central's 1 in that first half as well. Just to add to that, I did notice that the leading tacklers in the game for the Blue Jays so far are all defensive backs. And so you definitely want to see those first 2 levels have more tackles if possible.
So Jaden Wilsey and Braxton Buck will be the D tackles for the Blue Jays. As we get started here in the third quarter, Christo is going to carry it himself, picks up right where he left off in the second quarter, and he'll get 8 yards. And that is the play, Barry, that has befuddled this Blue Jay defense all night.
Well, and Tim, I got to say, when he's faking that give, he's faking me out too. I mean, it looks like he's giving the ball. He's just very seasoned at it. The senior has done a good job.
Well, he runs it perfectly, and here comes his 2nd down and 2 as Alex Christo, who has quarterbacked this team all season long, and he is continuing to look over at that sideline to get the play in. Now he looks at his left armband, and the Blue Jays, let's see what they bring as the middle backers now come back. Jackson Ham steps up from that middle backer position. Christo pump fakes. He's in trouble, stays alive. Now he's going to try to run it. Jackson Ham brings him down, but not until Christo reaches out and gets the 1st and 10 for the Cardinals.
Well, Christo was looking downfield at some big patterns, some long patterns. Our defensive backs had locked down coverage, Tim. That was a great job by the DBs and makes it a 3rd down.
Yeah, 3rd and short. So big tackle there for Jackson Ham, as bringing in the play is James Fogelman. And he'll talk to that offensive line who's been so terrific here in that second quarter. And so here we go. They're going to go pistol set on this 3rd and short, and Christo's just going to carry it. He's easily got the 1st down, finally brought down by one of the Blue Jays, and it looks like that's going to be Jackson Ham once again, and it's a 1st and 10 Boone Central.
Well, I tell you, Tim, I walked outside of the booth just for our break there, and it is I don't know what the temperature is, but it's cold. I'm still shivering here.
I know.
These players are just being warriors out there.
Oh, they are indeed, and I'll tell you what, it is a chilly night, but right now Boone Central red hot. As Christo says, why not? I'll carry it again. He's met at the line of scrimmage. Look at him spin around and get 5 yards. This kid's a ball player, and we're looking at 2nd down and 4.
Yeah, they're creating lanes for him up front with that offensive line. They're getting off the ball very quickly, Tim, and just getting into our defense enough to get Christo a little running room.
That was Nate Upton who ended up bringing him down. Not until he got 6. So here comes his 2nd down and 4. Big offensive line doing a great job here for the Cardinals as they will send Roberts in motion, and here comes Christo again, just continues to play fake, and now he'll get a 1st down. It took 4 Blue Jays to bring him down. You know, Barry, he is not a big guy. If you put the monox on him, frankly, he's skinny, but I'm telling you, he is fast and he's strong.
He is, and he's just got the ability to be able to twist and turn, and once he's into contact, he spins off so fast, it's hard to grasp him.
And Ty Carey finally was successful at it. But here we go, 1st down and 10. They continue to move the chains here to start this 3rd quarter. Blue JD needs a stop. The snap to Christo. He wants to stay in the pocket, has plenty of time. Now he's rushed out. Leighton West giving chase, and he'll throw it out of bounds, incomplete. The Blue Jays wanted a hold on Leighton West. They felt like he got held out there, but no flag, and here comes the 2nd and 10.
Well, I will say it was, I saw that as well, and it did look a little bit suspicious there, but, they didn't call it, and Christo once again was able to escape and get that ball out of bounds.
And Alex Christo, he is a cousin of Blaine Christo and Isaac Christo here in Ashland. Blaine Christo, a terrific wrestler. Just went out to nationals and got 5th out of 84. So there's definitely some good bloodlines in that Christo family. On 2nd and 10, they're going to give the ball to Bohr, who just steps his way, continues to run, and finally brought down at the 35. Thomas Spears came up, gave a little help, and it looks like Leighton West made the stop, but another nice gain. Here comes a 3rd and 3.
Boone Central has done a great job of getting downfield with their blockers, and they're on our defensive backs very quickly and creating lanes. And so, they work very hard in their running game.
All right, that Blue Jay D trying to be big here. You got Landon Sabota, good to see, back in the game. In that D tackle spot, here comes 3rd down. Christo follows his Bohr, and he's hit, and he's brought down at the 31. That will be enough for a 1st down. And Barry, what do you do here when they just continue to really own the D-line? What can you scheme as Ty Carey brought him down? What can you scheme up here if you're Coach Thompson?
I've been in situations like this, and it's very difficult because the momentum is so great. They're obviously doing lots of different things technique-wise up front, trying different schemes, and right now Boone Central, as you said, is owning the line of scrimmage.
Tobin Engelhardt has checked in the game now, D tackle for the Blue Jays. They bring in a fresh body. Jackson Hand comes up, and they're going to try Bohr. On a sweep to the left side, he'll cut it back to the middle field. He's got some running room, and there he burst into the 10-yard line, down to the 9. They have so many weapons, Barry Kindrell. And here comes a very, very late flag. It's going to be a personal foul, but I'm not sure if it'll be against Boone Central or the Blue Jays.
Yeah, tempers were flaring there at the end of the play, so I'm not sure.
And they'll come over and give us the signal here. It is unsportsmanlike, and it's on the Blue Jays. And so that'll bring up a 1st and goal, and the Blue Jays struggling a little bit with composure here.
Yeah, it's an extremely physical game. You can see that the crowd is up, and they're kind of not super happy about that call either.
They've wanted a few things to go in a different direction, but Boone Central, they have been unstoppable since the start of the 2nd quarter, and they have a 1st and goal from the 5 with 7:20 to go here in the 3rd. Christo barks out the call, and he awaits the snap high, but he'll give it to Bohr, who's going to just scamper down to the 1-yard line. Good tackle by Thomas Spears. He always gets you in the ankles and brings you down.
Well, I want to say Christo has taken a lot of snaps that have been very high. I mean, they've been up over his head the last couple series, and so he's done a pretty good job of getting it down quickly and making the play.
So here we go on 2nd down and goal. They bring in Aiden Washburn to play middle linebacker here. Trying different combinations to see what they can do on this 2nd and goal from the 1. Christo takes the snap, gives it to the man up the middle board, and he'll just pound his way into the end zone as Austin Cote tried to stop him, but he wasn't able to. And oh my, this game is getting tough here for Ashland-Greenwood. Boone Central, they have been tough.
Yeah, they really have, Tim. When you look all the way back in the 1st quarter where we scored that big touchdown pretty early, it really looked like this was going to be a heck of a game up in the trenches. But from that time on, Tim, Boone Central has really played well on the offense and defensive line.
Fogelman is now 4 for 4 on his PATs to make it 28-7. And Barry, this really hasn't been seen by the Blue Jays all year. Even against Aurora, a game was pretty tightly contested throughout. But tonight, Boone Central really owning the Blue Jays.
Yeah, so far they really have. And certainly it's not too late for the Blue Jays. We are a very talented squad. We just, it doesn't look like we have that belief that we've had because Boone Central has taken that away a little bit.
Boy, they sure have. They have come out here and willed themselves to a 28-7 lead. And so the Blue Jays now are going to send back Drake Zimmerman, Thomas Spears. They're going to need a big play here to get back into it. And those two guys can deliver. Thomas Spears, he is a terrific return man. Drake Zimmerman, we know what he can do. And Fogelman will tee this thing up. Coach Hudson said Northeast Nebraska football, he considers that the SEC of Class C1 football. And, boy, they're showing it here. And here comes a little onside squibber. The Blue Jays going to track it down, I believe, fall on it at the 31. It comes out, it's loose, and I think Boone Central fell on it.
Wow. I think the Blue Jays had it, and then it squirted out, and Boone Central, sure enough, was able to get on it.
Yeah, you're right. One of the Blue Jays, I think, was on top of the ball, but somehow, some way it popped out. And one of the Blue Jays are down as they will tend to him at the 30-yard line. And, boy, I tell you, that was just unfortunate for the Big Blue. It looked like they had it, and it just squirmed out of there as the place goes silent here as the Blue Jays have a man that they are looking at.
Yeah, wow, on those big plays, Tim, there is just such a susceptibility to get injured because you're trying to, get down on a knee, secure the football, and then, the kicking team will come down just full speed, and it's a kind of a tough spot to be in.
We'll pause right here as they tend to the injured player. And that is Nate Upton, who will head over to the sideline. And Nate Upton, what a great player. So much fun to watch him through the years. He is just such a bulldog out there, the way he runs and initiates contact. And obviously he suffered an injury there, and let's see if we'll see him back. But here comes Boone Central at the 32 after the kickoff that went awry. And they were able to jump on it, and rolling out here's Christo, and here is Engelhardt giving chase. That should be a hold, and it is, and they throw to the corner of the end zone, incomplete. Engelhardt was tackled back there by Bohr, and Bohr did everything he really should have done. He knew he didn't have a shot because Engelhardt's 6'7", Bohr about 5'9", and he just brought him down and tackled him.
Well, I will say this, Bohr had to think, who is this giant coming through the line? He peeled off, though, and made a great adjustment. His whole issue was he just grabbed Jersey and then tackled, gosh, I can't even think.
Engelhardt.
Yeah, Tobin, absolutely. And so, boy, that would be a daunting sight to see Tobin Engelhardt coming hard up there on the gut.
Folks, he's 6'7", 230 pounds, and you wait. You give him another year in the brick house, and you will be amazed. I'm telling you what. So here is the snap by Christo. Pressure up the middle, and he'll get across and get a few yards. Here comes a second down and long.
Well, Christo that time was shut down. Our defensive line, you could see them sliding down into the gap quickly, Tim. It closed very quickly there. That's kind of that defensive line we've seen all year, their ability to close quickly.
So a second down and 27 upcoming. And Boone Central comes up to the line of scrimmage. They got a mountain to climb here, do the Cardinals, and rolling out here, Ty Carey. They're going to come back to the screen to the opposite way. Aiden Washburn missed the tackle at the 50, and off they go. This is Bohr. He's to the 25, the 20, and he'll be brought down inside the 20 and around the 18-yard line. Well-conceived play that time by Boone Central.
Yeah, just a sideline screen, and Bohr did a tremendous job, and I will tell you, they had a wall built over there on that screen, and he was just running down the sideline behind the wall.
Wow, tough. Really tough run. So here we go now on a 1st and 10 from the 15. And they're going to work under center. Here's the snap. And fumbling it, here's Christo, and then Isaac Carson gets on him and drops him for a loss. Barry, I think you said there's going to be motion though, right?
Yeah, I believe they had a fullback move in the backfield. It looked like they had that big set again, Tim, where they had Hudson possibly at fullback, and it looked like he was just anxious to get to the line.
So a second and long. The Blue Jays have put Boone Central in this third quarter in a couple of second and longs, third and longs, but man, Christo's been clutch. And so you just can't really get some momentum built on this Boone Central offense. On second down, let's call it 14. Here's the snap, and there's Bohr. And he's working the left side, getting a little bit of a push. And here comes now a third down and short.
And honestly, they used Hudson as a lead blocker there from that fullback spot. It was just a power play. He runs to the outside, and Bohr bounces out around him that left end and just turned on the Jets.
4:30 to go. And here we go on third down and 5. As they will come up to the 10-yard line. And it will be Cristo working rare under center. And they try their fullback who butts through, and Jackson Ham had him. Jackson Ham puts his hands on his helmets as if to say, boy, I had him. But it was Tobin Engelhardt that finished him off along with Braxton Buck. Here comes a 4th down and 5.
Yeah, really, the defensive scheme there was guessed exactly right, and Ham never misses those. I mean, and honestly, he was in a little bit of a tough position there to make that play, but he certainly slowed it down and made a big part of that play.
Here we go, 4th down and 2. And they're going to come from the 8-yard line with 3:30 to go here in the third, and the Blue Jays jump. And there's Jaden Wilsey. And it'll bring up now a 1st and 10. And boy, this is not what you've seen from the Blue Jays all year. Normally, they can induce teams into this, false start, or I should say a defensive jump, because they do that hard count, and we practice it so much. But tonight, we've fallen for it twice.
Yeah, it's been tough. I mean, once again, I think Cristo, in all facets as a quarterback, has done a tremendous job of directing this game on their side. And that hard count, it must be like Houdini Hunter Washburn used to do.
And he's in the booth tonight. Here we go, 1st and goal from the 4. 2-step drop. Cristo, time, slant route, complete, touchdown. And that is a sweet catch from Sam Grape.
Yeah, that was just on the money. He had separation and was able to make that play without a lot of, fight. And, just looked like the Blue Jays are a little out of sync on defense right now.
Yeah, they are. And what another impressive drive in Boone Central. Well, they can say they play in the SEC in the northeast part of the country in Class C1 with SCOTUS. And with those great teams, Norfolk Catholic, here's the snap, and it's low, so Cristo has to roll. Drake Zimmerman gets him this time and throws him down back at the 20-yard line. As Zimmerman, there's that passion that you see from him. And he got Cristo down one of the few times that Cristo got tracked down.
Yeah, absolutely. Cristo obviously was trying to do a fire-type call out of that and just had no chance with Zimmerman breathing down his neck.
Well, this has been a tough one tonight, 34-7 for the Big Blue. And credit Boone Central. What a team they've put together. Well coached by Coach Hudson. Of course, Coach Thompson, what a career he's had, an incredible coach himself. And so when you see this happening, you know that this team is for real. And, Barry, you talk about tough nights. Sam Grape, I've been waiting for this line all night. I said, sweet catch by Sam Grape. And you didn't even, I didn't even get so much as a chuckle out of you.
I was just kind of stunned that you said it.
Oh, I have to credit Bob Jensen with that. In his Huskerland article, he wrote something about sweet Sam Grape. So I thought I'm going to work that in tonight.
That was good, Timmy.
I had to beg for it. Here's the kick. And this will be Zimmerman. Look at him go. He starts out inside, then back to the outside, and they'll corral him down and around the 30-yard line. 34-7 as Jackson Lipker brought him down. I don't think, look, there were a lot of people that thought Boone Central could win this game. I don't think they thought it would be 34-7 with 3 minutes to go in the third.
No, absolutely not.
Blue Jays will take over first.
They just played, ever since the first series, they've played almost flawless football.
Boy, they really have. And now let's see what the Blue can get going here. As Dane Jacobson got a 3-receiver set. The junior takes the snap, and he's going to run a draw to Upton, who's running hard, and he'll get that first down to the 44-yard line. Nate Upton with a 14-yard carry, and it's a 1st and 10 Big Blue.
Well, we've seen the offense get fired up when Zimmerman's running the ball, and now they're getting fired up when Upton's running the ball.
And there's Lipker again on the tackle. Blue Jay line up quickly. They got to move fast, down 27 with 2:48 to go in the third. Jacobson, slant route to Spears. Spears stops and makes one man miss, but then they get him from behind and around the 46. So a 9-yard gain, 2nd and 1.
Yeah, Thomas just slipped right in the gap, and Dane fired it. Boy, they are running now on all cylinders, Tim.
They're trying to get it going as Hank Hudson, the coach's son, came through with the stop. So on 2nd and 1 from the 46, pistol set. Snap, and they're going to run it out, and they throw it across the middle to the 39. And they're going to say it is a grab. Nice job by Leighton West to get his arms underneath that ball. And it's a 1st and 10 Big Blue.
Yeah, really quick plays. They are playing the 2-minute offense in the third quarter right now.
Derek Tonjes checks in the game, the 6'4 receiver out wide. And they're taking a while to get this play in with the clock running with 1:54. What will Jacobson dial up here? And he's going to give it to Upton, and that didn't go anywhere. And what a tackle. There he is, Jack Roberts. They call him Mustang up there in Boone Central Country, and you see why.
Yeah, he really roughed Upton up there at that time and was able to get him for a loss, which you don't see very often.
Roberts got that nickname as a sophomore. He was a young buck, and they called him Mustang. Here's the snap. They're going to swing it out to Zimmerman. There's a block from Spears. Nicely done. Zimmerman is brought down at the 35. Here comes a 3rd down at about 6.
Yeah, just making some big gains on the edges right now, and the Blue Jays are attacking in a big way, Tim.
Parker Borer got Zimmerman down with a little bit of help. Zimmerman checks out. And Upton in at running back. You got West. And you got Tonjes with Spears and Carson on the near side for receivers. Jacobson pressured. He's got 4 chased him, so he swings it out to Upton. Upton stays on his feet, gets down to the 30, and a 4th down upcoming here for the Big Blue.
Tell you, that was a great pass by Dane, just being able to loft it up over the defender, and then Upton to grab it without any fear of the defender coming downfield hard. That was a fine play.
There's one of the Roberts boys, Thomas Roberts, who brings it in. And now Dane Jacobson's going to walk over to the sideline with 35 seconds to go. We got a 4th down and less than a yard. Where are they going to measure this?
Official timeout.
You know, it's interesting. The chain gang of Clark Washburn, Chris Craven, Dave Romans, they said they had done one measurement in the last 5 years. So I bring that story up last week about how they're trying to measure a little bit less here in high school football games. And suddenly this is the 2nd measurement in just 2 weeks. And they'll stretch it out here. See what the Blue Jays will be facing. It is going to be short by the nose of the football. So 4th down and inches for the Big Blue. With 35 seconds to go, third quarter, Blue Jays down 27.
Well, I tell you, they're on fire right now. They are playing with passion, and they've got their mission now is to get in the end zone. And boy, they are just playing really well at this series.
Will they go under center? Gabe Mayer at fullback in the game with Upton behind him on 4th and inches. They will work under center. Jacobson takes it. They're going to try Upton. He'll have the 1st down and moves the pile down to around the 24, 23-yard line. That was a good push.
And there they go over that left side of the line following Braxton Buck and Ben Harris, and they plowed the way, Tim. They did a nice job.
All right, so here we go. From the 25, Jacobson takes it, play fake, pump fakes, look out, there's Roberts, and he got some help from Hudson, and Dane is getting up slowly.
Yeah, they had a couple of running backs go out on pass protection and just really struggled. Roberts absolutely was relentless in getting to Jacobson, and let's just hope Dane is not hurt.
Yeah, that you hate to see that with Dane Jacobson, who's had a marvelous season, and that's one of those things, you know, he fell down, he was corralled, And one of the players, when you fall on him, I think you get a knee in the back, and I think that's what he may have encountered that time. So we'll go to the fourth quarter with the Blue Jays down 34-7 as the Cardinals have just been absolutely terrific tonight. No other way to put it.
No, they have. They're a really good football team, and I think, when I talked to one of the coaches this week, they made it clear that the speed was a concern. I mean, they are going, this game is not over by any means, but the speed has been a concern all week with them. I think they put in some extra time in practices, did a lot more than maybe normally they would, and you can see why. Boone Central is really a nice football team.
Boy, they are, and they have been there. And the Blue Jays have been there, and so that's why coming into this game there was so much anticipation. And, boy, it got started on a great note by the Blue Jays. They went right down and scored. Nate Upton had a terrific run from about 38 yards out. And Boone Central made some adjustments and hunkered down. And so here comes a 2nd down and 23 as Derek Tonjes, the freshman, will come in at quarterback for the injured Dane Jacobson. And he's got Upton behind him, and the snap is into the turf, and Nate Upton just has to fall on it back at the 48. And when things go bad, things go bad.
Yeah, it's just, it's tough. You get to a situation like this, and the coaches are just telling these guys, hey, guys, just next play. You can't worry about anything other than the next play, and that's what they're going to do.
So Jaden Wilsey, the center, who's come in and played very well, that time just wasn't able to get that snap up in the air. So let's see what we do here on 3rd down and 33. Play fake for Tonjes. He's pressured. He swings it out complete to Upton. Upton's got some room. Good block downfield. He's to the 30, the 25, brought down at the 21-yard line. Big hit down the field, but a great run by Upton as it was Rasmussen that brought him down. But Nate is getting up slowly, and I'm telling you, he went down hard on that hit by Rasmussen.
Yeah, he really did. But, boy, he bounced right back up here, and that's good to see. Upton is ultra tough, I can tell you that.
One of the things Coach Thompson talked to me about last night, he thought the screen game might work against Boone Central because they are so ferocious with that pass rush. We've seen the last couple screens work pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely. They got that momentum upfield, and the first couple screens, we actually we weren't able to complete it because their linebackers read it so well, and we're able to knock it away. But that time, wow, we had the momentum.
Boy, and what a great run by Upton. What a great play call. But now, Barry, here we go. 4th down and 8 for the Blue Jays at Boone Central's 23. And you get a sense the Blue Jays have a shot here. They got to do something here on this possession.
Yeah, they're going to have to convert here for sure and get one in the end zone.
It has been a physical game as Upton checks out for the 2nd time tonight. Zimmerman comes in. Tonjes in for the injured Jacobson, and there's another low snap. Derek picks it up, and he's got no shot. He is sacked by Hudson back at the 33, the sack machine, Hudson and Roberts. And it will be Boone Central ball at their own 33.
Yeah, that's tough. It's not Tonjes' fault. It was on the ground at his feet, and it was just tough to get to. So, Tim, I got 3rd quarter stats when we're ready for him here after this play.
You bet. We'll do it right after this one as it's Christo back in the game, and there's Hudson at fullback. The offensive lineman who's playing a little bit of fullback, and now they're going to try option, the old option play. And look at Bohr go, and he gets free to the 48. Man, he just weaved his way, was so patient after the pitch. 1st and 10. Barry, what do those numbers look like?
Well, Ashland-Greenwood in the 3rd quarter, we ran the ball 4 times for 5 yards. We were 4 of 4 passing for 28 on some of those screens for 33 yards. Boone Central, they were 12 runs for 66 yards, 2 of 3 through the air for 37. They had 103 yards in that 3rd.
Big quarter for Boone Central, and that's part of the reason they lead 34-7 with 10:13 to go. Now they're going to take their time, whittle down this clock, and they'll send it to Bohr, who just pulls away from Ty Carey. Aiden Washburn in there, as well as a couple of others. It looks like Jaden Wilsey. And so a gain of about 5. It's second down and 5.
They're definitely going to try to take time off the clock here, Tim. I would be shocked if they put it up in the air at all.
And Austin Cote comes up limping a little bit, but he'll stay in the game. Jackson Ham, I should say. I call him the Hammer all the time, that I've now called him Jackson Hammer as if that's his real name. What a second half of the season this young man has had. What a career. And he's in there at middle backer. On second down and 5, they're going to try to fullback. This is Hudson. He's brought down, and I think Hudson might have lost the ball. And Cote saying he has it. The faithful says it should be a turnover, and Cote has it. And I don't think the officials are going to give it to the Blue Jays.
No, I don't either. I think they're going to say that Hudson had it to the ground, and then it was wrestled away is what it looks like.
And, you know, Hudson really believed he fumbled that football.
It looks like he did, because they were wrestling then.
They were. And sometimes that gives you a clue if you're an official, but they're going to say it stays with Boone Central. And I just like tackling him at fullback.
Yeah, he's a big old boy.
And he's got some power and speed. O-lineman right now playing fullback. They're going into the clock-eating mode right now, and they're going to run option. And Christo, he loves to just turn it up. There's Braxton Buck, who got through and brought him down. So we're looking at second down here, and we've got a whistle and a timeout. No, it's a first down. That's why they stopped the clock. 1st and 10, Boone Central.
Well, I tell you, players on both sides, they're kind of leaning over. They're exhausted. This has been an absolute all-out, complete effort football game, and both sides have given great effort tonight. Boone Central's just been able to make things happen, obviously much more tonight.
So on 1st and 10, the Cardinals trying to march up the field here again, and there's Borer, but this time he's stood up. Nice hit in there. Got to see who got their shoulder into him. That was a good tackle. And here comes a 2nd and long.
Well, just tell you that inside of the defensive, that front has really played much better in the 3rd and 4th quarter than they were able to play in that 2nd quarter.
And there's Jackson Ham again, Barry. He had 17 tackles a week ago. He's been a monster again tonight. We are sure going to miss him. These young middle backers can learn a lot from this guy. So here we go on 2nd down and 9. Again, working under center. They're going to run counter this time to Bohr. He's got some running room. Look out. There goes Bohr. The junior will scamper in for yet another score as Cote wasn't able to get him. And that will probably do it for the Big Blue tonight. It's 40-7, Boone Central.
Well, that was pretty emphatic, Tim. That was great execution by Boone Central. There's just no other word to describe it.
Well, they are having a night. Coach Mark Hudson said after their loss against Aurora that they really hit a low point. They had to decide to be more unselfish as a team. He moved some players around. He got them focused. And, boy, they have been on a rampage ever since. And here is the PAT. It is up and good to make it now 41-7. And I know this will be a soul-searching exercise here for the Blue Jays tonight. They've had an incredible year, and they've just done some things tonight that have been a little uncharacteristic of them.
Yeah, they absolutely have. You're 100% right. I think, certainly some of the things that losing – the 2 seniors like we've done this year and some of those types of things have really revealed themselves tonight. We could have really used Luke Lambert and Logan Sabota, certainly, and you just never know, how that kind of presence on that team would make a difference.
Yeah, you know what, boy, those guys, they sure deserve to be here. You hate to see it. We lost them both throughout the season. And Luke Lambert going to go on to play some Division II football at Wayne State. Terrific player. And Logan, he's kind of mulling his options, but 2 of the just terrific players to watch over the years.
Yeah, they've been a lot of fun to watch.
And here comes the boot. And the Blue Jays have Drake Zimmerman back there, and he does a good job of letting the ball roll out of bounds. The Blue Jays should have it at the 35. So we just saw the kickoff team there, Barry, some players that haven't played a whole lot this year, the varsity. Let's see what they trot out here. Although it does look like most of the starters are in. Carter Alberico is going to check in on that O-line. But otherwise, I think that's pretty much the starting crew.
Yeah, and you gotta see and maybe think now for these seniors out there, Tim. This could be their final drive. So this is kind of a special, emotional time for those guys.
Yeah, this will be really tough for Coach Thompson. He loves these guys. And here comes Drake Zimmerman, and he can't get away. And oh my goodness. There is Jack Roberts, and he has a few things to say to Zimmerman after he literally hog-tied him down and threw him down.
Yeah, he did. You don't see that happen to Drake very often, but Roberts is he's just a fine player as well. They're both two really good football players.
He's going to run track at either South Dakota State or South Dakota. As Barry mentioned, the state champ in the 300 meters, second in the 100 meters. In Class C, low snap again. Derek does a good job. Tanja swings it out, complete to Spears, and he just slides down. He was trying to cut, but it gets a little moist out here at night, and so here comes a third down and about 10.
Well, let's not forget, we had quite a bit of moisture early in the day. I mean, it rained for a long time.
Yeah, you're right.
Which was great for the farmers around. I mean, they needed moisture so bad. We all did. But the farmers, wow. Thanks for all you do out there if you're listening.
Absolutely, and we know they're wrapping up if they're not already done, but we sure appreciate them sticking with us throughout the year. So here we go on third down and 10 for Tonjes. And again, a low snap, digs it out, and he tries to run a pass over there to Thomas Spears, but it's incomplete, so here comes a 4th and 10. And my guess is the Blue Jays may be punting this thing away.
Yeah, it looks like they very well may do that. And once again, Tim, any of these plays may be the seniors' last play in this program, and that's, wow, that always gives me a lump in my throat.
Yeah, you know, this is a night I hate. I remember when it was my oldest son's last night. It was one of the hardest, and there's a block on the punt. And they will fall on it back at the 15-yard line. And so Boone Central, they just continue to have things created that they create on their own. They have done a great job, and it's a first down and 10.
Yeah, it's just a rough night for the Blue Jays, and you just don't see this very often. And once again, Boone Central has created a lot of it. So, yeah, it's just one of those nights.
Yes, it is. And you hear the Boone Central fans going nuts over here. And they will bring in now, I believe, a new signal caller. And coming in will be Jacob Miller. He's a freshman, 5'8", 130 pounds. And let's see who they have in there. They've got Weezy as one of the wideouts. Here's the snap, and they're going to run wide. Blue Jays give chase, and there's a good tackle and brought down. Leading the way there, I believe, was Jackson Ham. Ty Carey finished him off.
Well, I think that's it for the seniors. They're going to get substituted out right now. So hopefully our crowd just really gives them an ovation.
Well, I got to tell you, we'll get these players in here, but it's also an opportunity for me to say thank you to you guys. What a season it's been. You and Julie. Andrew has joined us in the booth the last few weeks. Hopefully we see a lot more of him. But I always hate this because this is one of my favorite times of the year is to spend with you guys, as they will try the freshman quarterback up the middle, Jacob Miller. Had a lot of good times up here, haven't we?
We have, and it's hard to believe this was our 15th year.
I know.
You trying to make me cry, Timmy?
Yeah, it's, you know what? The older we get misty over this stuff, don't we?
Oh, my. I got misty in our first year. What's wrong with me?
Oh, yeah, we've seen some good ones. And, boy, this season, no exception. This Blue Jay squad, I know both you and I mean, Ryan Thompson's just amazing with what he does, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely.
And now we got a whistle, and I think we've got motion being called here on Boone Central.
Penalty on the play.
And they may have Brogan Bennis in the game. Now, this kid's a freshman, and he's got some gaudy numbers already as a freshman. He's rushed for over 100 yards, and he's tough. So They'll get the clock started here. We're down to 4:26, 41-7. Boone Central will head on to play next week. And there's Bennis. As soon as I say that, Isaac Nonella comes through, makes the play. And we're looking at second down and make that fourth down and long.
Yeah, we've seen Nonella just all season long make big tackles on special teams and late in the game like this. And he's certainly someone we're going to be watching for as the next seasons unfold.
Boy, he is a good kid, worked hard. I love that interview that he and Aiden Washburn did last week. They really gave a lot of praise to their coach, Dan Baranek, on special teams, and to the schemes that they run on special teams. And that kickoff coverage team, was terrific all year long.
It was.
And here's a throw across the middle. It's going to be picked off. And I think this is Garrett Turner. It is. He's at the 35, stiff arms at the 40. Garrett's still going to finally run out of bounds at around the 50-yard line, but the sophomore comes up with a big pick.
Yeah, that was a big one for Garrett. He's going to be a fine football player as well. I know you rave about him as a baseball player and what he's done on the lower levels of football, but we're going to start seeing Garrett on Friday nights here probably next year.
Yeah, he was one of those kids in baseball. You could say, Garrett, you want to catch? And he's playing the outfield, and he goes, sure. And then you just develop him into a catcher. And every coach needs about 10 of those kids, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Someone that's unselfish and willing to do whatever they can to better the team.
So here we go, 1st and 10 from the 48. As Tanja's still in there at quarterback. We got a whistle here. Stops it with 3:30. You think about what Ryan Thompson has done, these last several years. I mean, they have something really special going here at Ashland-Greenwood. And Barry, what's so funny is after talking with Coach Hudson about what they have going up there as well, you just hear a lot of similarities. And here's a high snap, as the snap's been a problem for the Blue Jays here in the fourth quarter. And Tonjes is buried back there at the 42-yard line. But it's like they know who they are, they know what they want to be, and they know what they want to do on the football field.
Oh, yeah, and the younger players that come into the program just know what the expectation is, and the older players help them to understand it too. And so it's a system absolutely.
So here we go. We're looking at 3 minutes to go. And let's see if Derek Tonjes will get an opportunity. It's Ethan Judy be the tight end on the right side of the line. Here's a snap. They're going to swing it out. It's going to be complete out there. This is Aiden Crumweedy who gets a nice block out front. And that was a good block by Marzouk, who helps bring him to a first down.
Yeah, Marzouk, that's one of the hardest blocks you can have, is out on the edge, trying to turn the receiver without holding him. You just have to move your feet and kind of punch like crazy, and he does a good job of it.
Yeah, he's really come along. I think we're going to see him a little bit next year as he splits out here to the near sideline. And we've got a couple of other receivers. We'll try to get you some of those O-linemen in the game here for the Blue Jays as well. They're going to fake a counter. Tonjes rolling, fires downfield. He's got Crumweedy, and there we go. The Blue Jays get on the board here late in the fourth.
Wow, that was a great job of Crumweedy getting separation, and then Tonjes laid it perfectly right where you got it.
That makes me smile. I'm glad to see that. And Blue Jays needed that. Crumweedy, who's just last 2 years been so banged up, so injured, missed so many games and practices, but he came back healthy midway through. He probably would have played a little more varsity, but just really was behind the 8 ball with his injuries to start the year.
He's been impressive in late game play the last couple of weeks, and so I agree, Tim. I'm looking for good things from him. Got
some speed as well, and here we go. They're going to work under center with 2:37 to go, 41-13. And here's the snap. They're going to run counter this time to Austin Cote. He decides to go wide, and he'll scamper in. And it's 41-15. Blue Jays down with 2:37 to go.
Well, we don't dare try an onside kick, do we?
You just don't know. I know one thing. Coach Hudson's not happy. Well, I don't know. He was barking at some people to come on over to the sideline. And by the way, I had my binoculars on the wrong coach. That was not Coach Hudson. So I'm going to take everything back. But the bottom line is that both of these squads still getting after it.
Yeah, and remember, Coach Hudson played football in college, Tim. You got to be careful.
That's
I think
exactly
I might
right.
go down and tell him.
Oh,
Timmy,
yeah,
I tell you, I gotta say, You are the glue in this. You are the lead. You're the celebrity of this broadcast. Thanks for bringing us along. We appreciate you.
Oh, you guys,
so
that
much.
is so untrue, but I will tell you this. I've loved it. I mean, the 15 years have just been absolute so much fun.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Let's do another 15, shall we? If they'll have us,
Oh,
right?
my. If I can still get up the steps.
I just texted my nephew the other day, and I texted him the call of my new great nephew, Court Washburn, and gave him the call of what it's going to sound like when he's 17.
Wow.
And so anyway, he was pretty excited, but I said, hey, I'll be 71, but let's try this, all right?
That's awesome. Julie, you in? Oh, yeah. She says she's in.
Here comes Alexander. Boot this thing away. He's going to pooch it to the far side of the field, and the Blue Jays get all over it. Boy, that was a big stick out there. And let's see, Nonella, and I believe Van Lanningham.
And you said it, Tim. We have had an incredible kickoff team this year. I mean, that's a special team that really stands out because we just have covered so well. No one gets returns on us. We stop them back deep, and so outstanding.
I don't believe we've given up a kickoff return or a punt return for a touchdown this year.
That's right.
And so I know Coach Dan Baronic, who's done a marvelous job, but he really assembled a good crew here. And what's interesting is, again, there was not a starter on that kickoff return team this year. So here's the snap, and the freshman's going to take it up the middle. He's got some running room. He'll get to the 50-yard line.
That'll most likely come back, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. And you're right, Barry. They do point in the direction of Boone Central. What a night, though, and I haven't gotten any updates on any other scores, but big night for football. And you get to the quarterfinals. I mean, people at home are with Strive now. They're bouncing around from screen to screen watching games.
Well, I do love how, they've formatted also that the higher seed stays home.
Yes.
And that was big. I applaud the NSAA for doing that this year because to me, that's the right thing to do.
Boy, they've earned it. They shouldn't have to go on the road, and that was a good call. And here is Trayton Tweeton, who comes up from that middle backer position to make a stop. And he got some help in there by Matthew McConnell.
Well, I tell you, these guys have, you've said it, Tim, they've just poured their hearts and souls into this season. It's always tough to see it end. But they really have nothing to be ashamed about. They absolutely played great this year. Just comes down to someone has to lose that final game, and it's a tough way to lose.
Yes, it sure is. And so I know Coach Thompson, with his heart and soul into this program, it's always so hard for him to let go of these seniors. And this will be a tough night for him here tonight, much more so than the loss. And by the way, that was Jackson Nielsen on the stop. Much more so than the loss, just having to say goodbye to those seniors. And you were a head coach for many years, Barry. You know how difficult this night is.
It absolutely is. You just stay in the locker room forever.
Yeah.
I mean, you just seem like you can't get out of it because you're just hugging guys and waiting, just sitting by them just to wait for them to be able to even say a word. It's tough.
I saw a tweet the other day about the finality of football because, you can go play pickup basketball. You can go play a lot of sports you play in high school when you're 40 or 50. Nice tackle in there by the Blue Jays. And bringing him down there is Jackson Nielsen again. But when football's done, it's done.
It is, yeah. There's no adult leagues for football. It's the one sport, you're right, that really ends for some guys, most guys, on the high school field like tonight.
Yeah, and the Boone Central faithful, they are on their feet, giving their team a well-deserved standing ovation. They've earned it. The Blue Jays have earned it too, and they're faithful up as they put together a tremendous season yet again under head coach Ryan Thompson. And Ryan Thompson comes over, gives the officiating crew a high five, and he also gives a big pat on the back to Coach Mark Hudson as they had a great game plan tonight. And, Coach Thompson, like I said, he'll keep all this in perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. You can just you could hear it in his voice at halftime. It wasn't what he was hoping for even at that time. but Boone Central just proved tonight to be a little bit more than we could handle. They're just a really good football team.
I'll tell you, the way they played tonight and the way they've come around, listen, I know Aurora everyone has already anointed them champions of C1, but, Pierce and this Boone Central team, they may have a little something to say about this.
They may. I was thinking that very thing in the early fourth quarter. I was like, boy, they're going to play anyone tough if they play like this tonight.
Yeah, they sure will. And we will get our final thoughts from Coach Thompson here. We'll hear the players sing the fight song, which is a tradition. If you're not, have never attended a game at Ashland-Greenwood, the players come over, they do sing the fight song to their student body and to their crowd. And so we will broadcast that to you. And then we're going to do pretty much a quick out after that so that we can go on down there. And I've got a son that plays, and I want to get a picture with him and Hunter. But Coach Thompson's going to take a long walk. In fact, we may not get Coach T tonight, as this is a tough moment for him.
And they probably won't sing Blue and White tonight with the loss. It's normally after they win. It's just so tough to do that when you lose like this.
Yeah, I can imagine that's hard to get behind that. So Coach Thompson's going to have a little chat with them, and we're going to just keep it here for a few more minutes while he does it. And, again, I have so many thanks to give. Jordan Wallman does a marvelous job getting the equipment down here, getting everything set up. And I cannot thank him for all the work he's done. And then, of course, the students that they brought along. We had some great students tonight. Andrew Milburn's done a great job for us as well. He joined us. We've got Frank Simpson, who's done a great job. So a big thanks to the students who have participated in this all season long. And then, of course, our stalwarts who are here every game and have been here almost all the 15 years. Barry, of course, has. Julie, I can't remember. Did you join us in year one? Or was it year two? About halfway through. 14.5 years.
Wow.
You qualify for the 401k match at 15. So, anyway, great to have them. Kayla and Steve. You guys don't realize, now Barry doesn't have anyone playing this year.
No.
But I do. But, Julie, Kayla, Steve, they'll go to these long away games half the time, gas out of their own pocket, and they're always there. So I cannot thank you guys enough.
Absolutely. It's a joy.
Yeah, and she's a new grandma.
I know.
Grandbaby's name?
Maddie.
Oh, Maddie.
Yeah.
What middle name?
Lee.
Maddie Lee. I thought you said Maddie Marie. I was going to say that's really, really good.
Oh.
Maddie Lee. So she missed last Friday night, a rare miss for Julie, so she could do that. So, guys, thank you so much again.
Thank you, Tim, for making it happen from day one. You drove this thing, and so thanks for bringing me along, and Julie and Kayla and Steve and everybody.
Oh, yeah. Been fun. We'll be doing it again next year. As a kid named Barrett Kittrell is going to be on the varsity as a freshman, isn't he?
I don't know who I'm going to ride to the stadium with. I was asking Barrett that. I was like, Barrett, who am I going to ride with? And he said, Mom. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's true.
It's so funny. And we're just holding on here for a minute or two just to see what happens here after they break the huddle. As the Blue Jays lose 41-15 to Boone Central. Boone Central will go on to play next year. But I will tell you this. Barrett Kittrell came in tonight, and there was a dance song playing an hour before the game, and he started dancing a little bit.
Well,
so the kid's got good feet for an offensive lineman.
He's got rhythm. Gets it from his mother.
Well, the players are going to come over here. Let's see if they address the crowd here. If they do, we're going to do it one last time. If not, we're going to wrap it up as they make the long walk over. But yeah, you could be right here, Barry. I don't know if this is done on a loss, correct?
That's right.
Yeah. So, you know what? Let's just wrap this up. Partner, I'll give you the final say here in this game tonight.
Well, in this game tonight, Boone Central came in and really showed that they're a team worthy of going to that next game in the semifinals. Ashland-Greenwood had an amazing season. They came up just a little bit short. Maybe didn't play their best game tonight, but I give Boone a lot of credit because of that happening.
Yeah, without a doubt. Give them credit and give this Blue Jay squad. We've loved covering them What a great bunch of kids, and they've given us a lot of thrills this year. And they truly, folks, you get down, you get a chance to talk to these kids. They are just as good as you can be. In fact, Coach Thompson said one of the things I love about this squad, we don't ever have any issues, right? We don't have to deal with things off the field.
Yeah.
And, boy, that means a lot. It says a lot about these group of kids. So, listen, the Blue Jays lose 41-15 tonight. They will finish the year at 9-2 on the season. Another terrific year. And, again, my thanks to Steve and Kayla and Jordan Wallman, the great students tonight who helped out, including Andrew Milburn. For Barry Kittrell, my man Barry. We're going to go year 16.
Awesome.
And wait a minute, we got some stats here, I think, coming.
Awesome.
We got them? Yeah, let's just
Kayla
take
and Steve Lonnie
she
are
works
amazing.
so hard. We're
Oh,
getting
my
these
gosh.
stats in.
Yeah, so we want to finish here with the night. Ashland-Greenwood ended up, Tim, with 55 yards on the ground. They had 11 for 18 through the air for 118. They finished with 173. And then Boone Central ended with 220 on the ground. They were 8 for 21 through the air. Our DBs and our pass rush did do really a good job. 101 yards. They had 321 total. Penalties, we had 6 for 36. They had 6 for 30. So really, really overall was very balanced that way. And tackles, it looks like Jackson Ham had, looks like 8. And, gosh, it goes from there. But he came on, I will say, he was at halftime, the DBs by far led all the tackles. And Jackson in the second half just had a whale of a game personally. Dane Jacobson finished with 12 completions for 70 yards. And it looks like Krem Reedy led the way on receptions with 56 yards tonight. And then running the ball, Upton had 76 yards, and that was about it for the individual stats. But, Boone Central really dominated at that line and in the stat category a little bit. So, tough way to go out, but once again, a great season for the Blue Jays.
Well, if you're going to get beat, right, Barry, get beat by a really good football team, and we saw that tonight here. But our thanks to Coach Thompson and his staff for all of their help and cooperation as well. Cannot thank him enough. He makes our job so easy, and he is a great one to work with and work for in some ways. And to Steve and Kayla Lonnie, who just came in here, big thanks to them. Julie Mink, Barry Kittrell. I'm Tim Washburn saying so long. We'll see you next season.